Get access and watch your favorite sporting events on Pilipinas Live with these easy steps. Download via Google Play or App Store. Once downloaded, enter a valid email address. Verify the OTP sent to your email address. Note that the OTP is valid for 5 minutes and for one-time use only. If no OTP is received, you may click on the Resend OTP button. Once successful, create and enter your password. Accept the terms and conditions to complete your registration. You can now log on to Pilipinas Live. Subscribe now for only 149 pesos monthly.
You know what I love about Filipinas Live? I can watch me. Filipinas Live lets me watch in different angles. No. I'm referring to the multi-cam feature. It allows me to chat with the other viewers too, which means I can read your comments too. Come on, guys. That's what I'm talking about. And it's not just games, there's original content too. And that is Filipinas Love. Filipinas Live.
Filipinas Live is the home of Philippine volleyball. Watch your favorite volleyball leagues such as Spikers Turf, Premier Volleyball League, and the UAAP, all in one app.
Got Cancino on the right, CJ delivers. Flipping it up and in was Chris Banquero. Stops, turns, basket, another one para kay R.R. Boboy. Ayun na! By himself! A 8-point victory for the Bolts to make this a 2-1 series.
Finally nice to get a win. We haven't beaten this team in a long time.
No! That's a big shot.
Nice push, nice shot.
What a block. As ugly ball as possible in this ball game. Meralco really have to keep it up. They're not giving up the leather.
Nakauna ang TNT sa seryeng ito. They were up 2-0 pero etong Meralco Bolts, they found their rhythm in Game 3 at nakita natin doon yung depensa na inaasahan natin sa isang koponan like the Bolts. They really stymied and shut down the offense of TNT, particularly etong kanilang main man is Calvin Oftana. But the battle continues. Game 4 of the Solid 4 race to Golden Glory. Semifinals, best of 7. Makakatabla na kaya ang Meralco? Yan ang tanong. O aangat ba ng 3-1 ang TNT? Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Salamat sa pagtutok sa PBA Rush. Shots ulit together with the Dean Quinito Henson.
Nakita natin sa game number 3, yung character ng Meralco, yung defensive character nila. We know that every time Meralco buckles down on defense, mahihirapan yung kalaban. They held the TNT, a team that averages over 100 points a game, to less than 90 in game number 3.
That's right. And we take a look at now the playoff picture kung saan makikita natin dun sa kabila. Kakatabla lang ng Ginebra din dun sa seryeng yun.
What a series that is unfolding. Yung Ginebra at San Miguel. Of course, alam natin yung San Miguel Beer, they're struggling because hindi 100% si Junmar Fajardo, but that's a different story. Ang story na pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi is this one, Meralco versus TNT. And this is going to be a good one because they're in a similar situation as Ginebra was before Game 4 kanina.
That's right. Balikan muna natin yung Game 3 at dito nga namayagpag talaga yung depensa ng Meralco din.
Well, makikita po natin yung assists. It's interesting that Meralco averaged only 11 assists in the first 2 games sa seryeng ito. But they broke out with 17 assists. But more importantly, yung TNT. Remember, TNT had shot 55% from the field in game number 2, but held down to only 38% field goal percentage. That is a testament to how tough the defense of Meralco was in a game where Jordan Heading, who was best player in game number 2, was scoreless in game number 3.
We'll talk about that later on. Pero syempre, habang nagagawa mo yung trabaho on the defensive end, kailangan rin makascore. And Chris Banquero provided that scoring punch for Meralco in Game 3. He also had a very slow and very quiet Game 2. 2 points nga lang siya in Game 2. But in Game 3, he was back to his usual self, and CB led the charge and electrified the offense of the Bolts.
Hindi lang sa offensive, but sa depensa rin. Remember, this guy was tasked to defend Jordan Heading, who was scoreless in that contest. And if you notice here in game number 2, 2 points only for Banquero, but in game number 3, he erupted for 18. Ang average niya in the first 2 games of this series, only 9 points. And in the first 2 games of this series, he was 0 out of 2 from 3-point distance. And then in game number 3, he was 1 out of 1 from beyond the arc.
Dino, nag-cover din tayo ng game 2. You were talking about Chris Newsome having to step up as the leader of Meralco. Wala namang question about him being the leader, but it also has to reflect in his game, both in impact and his numbers. And in both aspects, double check mark yan para kay Newsome in game 3.
A two-way player. Si Chris Newsome actually came off the bench in the first 7 games in this conference, but he has started in the last 9. Itong ginawa niya sa game number 3, 17 points, 4 rebounds. But you also remember, but late in the game, he had a problem with his knee. Malalaman po natin yan a little bit more about his situation with his knee from this report coming from Eileen.
That's right, yun yung importante. So puntahan na nga natin si Miss Eileen Shi.
Hindi na pagkatapos ng kanilang laro the last game, agad dumiretso si Chris Newsome sa ospital para mapacheck ang kanyang tuhod sa MRI. And while the initial good news is that both his ACL and his MCL are intact, he was diagnosed with a MCL sprain. He had his PRP treatment early this morning at kinakailangan niyang sumuot ng knee brace. Kaya naman according to Coach Luigi Trillo, he will be a game time decision for today. Pero ika nga ni Chris Newsome, if he feels like he can manage, he will play. But if not, he trusts in the work that his teammates put in. Pwede na si sistema ng Meralco to equalize this series. Balik sa inyo, Jot and Dean.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Eileen, rather. And Dean, I'm looking at Chris Newsome right now. Sobrang heavy nung brace na suot niya on his left knee. And it is a concern for Meralco whether he will be suited or he will be playing or not. But he was part of their warm-ups. Napag-usapan natin ng TNT dahil meron namang sumubok lumaban sa kanila, particularly in the second half. RR Pugoy for 21 of his 28 points in the second half of Game 3. Kaya lang kinapos dun sa paghabol ng TNT.
Unbelievable performance coming from Aram Pugoy, this veteran of the Gilas squad. Hit 5 out of 6 from 3-point distance in game number 3. And remember, in games number 1 and 2, 0 out of 6 siya from beyond the 3-point arc. So what a recovery, what a comeback for RR Pugoy. Yun nga lang nagkulang ang opensa ng TNT in game number 3 because while Pugoy had a breakout 28 points, Calvin Oftana held down to only 6 points after averaging 27 in the first 2 games. And as we mentioned earlier, Jordan Heading was scoreless in game number 3.
And yan yung mga tututukan nating manlalaro, how they can bounce back or continue what they did in the previous game. But for now, it's time to meet the starters for both teams.
Both teams. First from your TNT Tropang 5G. Starting at guard from Naga City, number 0, Simon Enciso. Also at guards, the only rookie last season to be a candidate for Best Player of the Conference. From Tondo, Manila, number 15, Jordan Heading. At center from La Union, number 45, Brandon Ganuelas Rosser. At forward is a 4-time champion with TNT. From Cagayan de Oro, number 7, Boy Aram. And also at forward is a member of last year's mythical first team from Dumaguete, number 8, Calvin Optana. Head coach of the Tropang 5G is Chuck Reyes. And now let's meet the starters for your Meralco Bolts. Starting at guard from Iloilo, number 17, Anjo Karam. Also at guard is the 5th overall pick in the 2014 PBA draft from Isabela, number 6, Chris Banquero. At center is the 8th overall pick in the PBA 48th season draft from Pasig City, number 33, Brandon Bay.
For this game, we got crew chief Peter Balao, Mike Lordeliza, Jeff Tantay, at Carlo Vergara. Yan po ang team of your referees for this game. And for the first time in this series, Dean, mag-iiba ng starting unit si Coach Chot Reyes. Boy Aram and Simon Enciso starting for the first time dito sa semis. Tapos si Anjo Karam will be injected into the lineup after playing just less than 4 minutes in Game 2, which means, of course, Chris Newsome is a big question mark as he was be coming off the bench if he will play at all. Ball is up, game is on. Game 4 of this best of 7 semifinals.
Nabanggit mo nga some of the changes in the starting lineup. Halalon is not starting for TNT. Neither is Kelly Williams, as you mentioned. And over for Meralco and Chris Newsome, is not starting. So this is a brand new lineup here for both these teams in this series.
Very interesting kung paano mangyayari dito. And initially, in TNT's first offensive attack, sinubukan talaga nila i-activate ng maaga si Calvin Oftana.
The matchup that we are curious to find out how it will evolve is Enciso versus Banquero, realizing that Banquero had 18 points in game number 3, pero si Enciso is a very tough, defense-oriented guard.
Pancho Karam just missing on that floater. TNT has numbers. Tumatakbo sila. Heading will fire away. And he will miss. So the two players who struggled in game 2 for TNT, they missed both of their first attempts. But Aram knocks it down. As now we check in with our Dean's List for TNT.
Well, for TNT, unang-una, they need to put pressure on CJ Cancino, who's not starting in this game. Cancino was 7 out of 8 from the floor in game number 3, had 18 points, 3 out of 4 from three-point distance. They need to be able to create the and meaning to say that if they want to get Oftana and Jordan Heading involved, they want to be able to create the mismatch, go up against a bigger guy off the switch in the mismatch, and then they can take on either Bates or Almazan, depending on what happens. And then back to work for Calvin Oftana, who had only 6 points in game number 3, at saka si Jordan Heading, who had 0 in game number 3. Those are our pointers in our Dean's List for TNT.
At ito naman, deep para sa Meralco.
Well, for Meralco, they need to set their defensive goals. Ang tingin ko, they need to hold TNT to less than 90 points and less than 40% shooting from the field. Those are their defensive goals. No hero ball, and meaning to say, they got to be able to distribute the wealth. Sabi nga natin kanina, in the 2 losses in this series, they only had 11 assists, but in their breakout win in game number 3, they had 17 assists. Finally, they need to clog the lane. Make sure that when TNT runs their pick and roll, there's got to be someone to recover, there's got to be someone to stop that roll towards the basket.
At saka hindi madali yun, yung i-limit yung offense ng TNT. We know their firepower, and they average 46% from the field here in the semifinals. So it's gonna be a tough task, but if Meralco can do what you said to limit them to below 40%, big check mark talaga for them. Bates, hindi na hawakan yung bola, and that goes straight out of bounds.
Well, we also want to mention that si Coach Nenad Vucinic is back on the bench sa Meralco. He missed the last 2 games. He had a family obligation, the birth of his granddaughter, the granddaughter's child, that is. And then, birth of his granddaughter yata, no?
We'll double check. Eileen will have the info. Update tayo mamaya.
And I think also there was a marriage in his family, but after missing 2 games, he's back in harness.
Oh, there's a foul on a BGR 3-point attempt.
And I think that'll be on Karam. It's Brandon Bates. On the foul.
Usually happens yun kapag natodraw yung big to beyond the arc. And so BGR will head the line.
And something that every coach dreads. If you are, if your defensive player fouls a 3-point shooter, huwag mo nang magbibigyan. Low percentage shot nga yung 3-point shot. Pag bibigyan mo pa ng 3 free throws off a foul, something that you don't want to happen.
BGR in game 3 had 14 points. Was actually the second leading scorer ng TNT behind RR Pugoy. Made the first, missed the second. Ito yung pangatlo.
BGR has been a very consistent double-figure scorer sa series na to, and his minutes have really increased from the elimination to quarterfinals. Here's another attempt for TNT.
Heading, being trapped up high. Oftana, si Quinto nakabantay. That familiar half-spin fadeaway. Gilid ng board, ito naman. Pero andun si Aram to mop of the mess.
Second chance opportunity for TNT. At second field goal para kay Poy Aram. And we're seeing the kind of defense that Meralco is applying on Heading and Oftana. They're trapping Heading, forcing him to release. Eto si Banquero all the way home.
And Aram was busy minding Bates. Hindi napansin. Ando na pala si Banquero on the attack. Heading will try again. Pangalawang tira sa labas. Still no go.
Here's Banquero pushing up the ball. Hindi naman sila nagmamadali. Now, also look at this lineup of Coach Luigi Trillo. They've got Bates and Almazan usually alternating for each other, playing at the same time. They want to make sure that they can control the boards very early and set the tone. Alam mo, pambihirang combination. Usually they alternate for each other, especially if one gets into foul trouble. Problema nito, kung pareho sila naglalaro, and if one gets into foul trouble, paano yan?
That's right. Ang tanong mo na, who's the next pick? And that might be Raymar Jose. Banquero using that pick from Almazan. Look at the speed of CB.
Naiwanan doon si Simon Enciso. It's a difficult task for Enciso. I think he's a good post defender, but I don't think you'll see Banquero posting up against Enciso. He's going to drive from outside. Oh, what a shot!
And that's
Aram again.
Like you said, again, dahil pangalawang basket na yan ni Boy Aram, this one will come with a bonus.
He's got all the points of TNT. Ito yung foul ni Almazan. Ito yung sinasabi natin. If Almazan or Bates gets into foul trouble, mahihirapan ang Meralco. Here's Bates going back to the bench. Almazan stays in the game. Kelly Williams didn't start. Questionable for this game. But Boy Aram filling in his shoes. 7 points. That's a number on his jersey.
Very good start para kay Aram. Kung may Twin Towers to start the game, itong Meralco, laging may Twin Towers on the floor itong TNT. They opt for the combination of PGR and Aram in this game. Almazan, siya naman ang makakakuha ng foul kay Aram.
At sabi siguro ni Almazan, sandali, tinitirahan ako ni Aram. He's gotten a lot of points of Almazan. It's his turn now to try to get some points across his name. He hasn't been doing too badly in this series. Si Almazan had 11 points last time out. He had 9 points in game number 2 and 13 in game number 1, averaging double figures in this series.
It's actually a really interesting matchup dito kay Aram and Almazan because they almost have similar skill sets. For big men, may range, although they don't necessarily use it too often.
And both of them like to do the pick and roll. But si Almazan, oh, here's an offensive rebound coming from Quinto, and he makes it.
A little bit slow on the response and TNT doon. So Meralco ties the game at 8.
And Coach Chot Reyes not happy with that situation. He wants to bring in Galinato to put some more strength underneath the boards. And Aram continues to pile up the points. He's got 9 now.
I think baka hindi si Aram yung papalitan dahil ang ganda ng nilalaro ni...
Oo, manabang si BGR.
Aram to start this game. Hodge, his attack, no. Oftana gets the board. Here's TNT. Calvin. Tried to break down the defense of Meralco. Now they go to Aram against a smaller Quinto. Boy.
That's the mismatch that they were looking for. And here's Aram again.
And this is a fully loaded start for JP Aram here in Game 4.
11 out of the 12 points at TNT. Nagagaling sa isang player lamang. Ayan po si Boy Aram. Watch him go. A post move. Realizing the mismatch. And that mismatch was created because Meralco doubled on Oftana, which is what they're going to be doing. Yun ang sinasabi natin sa Andy Dean's list. Gotta create the mismatches off the switch.
And you know, guys like Calvin Oftana, kaya nilang impact yung laro without being the one who's scoring. Just drawing that double team opened up an opportunity for them. Here's Banquero, he's double teamed. Kicks it out to Quinto, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Quinto off the glass, wala. Almazan on the putback.
Almazan cleaning up the boards. Now, he's usually effective on a pick and roll with Chris Newsom because both of them are dangerous players. But right now, wala si Newsom, so he's doing a lot of things on his own, especially off the offensive boards.
And BGR,
hindi pumasok! Hindi pumasok!
He tried to slam it down. Pero ito ngayon ang Meralco, CB again with that attack.
Banquero is going wild. 7 points here in the first quarter. And Enciso is not able to keep in space.
Setting up the table para sa TNT.
Now that's the matchup we saw in game number 2. Now the switch.
Ito yung nahanap ng tropa and Heading makes perfect use of that fourth switch.
Kulang sa recovery doon. Yung depensa ng Meralco off the switch. You gotta be able to help Jordan Heading attacking the slower Almazan. There's got to be someone to take care of the defense once Heading gets by Almazan. Ito na, tumatakbo, pull-up jumper!
And Ciso opted for the pull-up kaso hindi pumasok. The guards of Meralco din, mukhang yun yung order for them to attack strong to the paint. Both Banquero and Aram have been doing so. Quinto. Alusot sa unang banda, drops it off to Almazan.
What a perfect pass. Yun ang sinasabi natin kanina, no? About no hero ball for Meralco. They learned their lesson in game number 3. They had much better ball movement with 17 assists. And that was a perfect assist. Unmolested shot, galing sa ilalim. And for Almazan, he's not gonna miss that kind of a shot. He could have dunked it, but he'll go for the easy layup. Here's a switch. Big man on Jordan Heading. Heading. He's trying to attack, and there's the shot.
He got a layup earlier, pero nagmintis na naman. He's 1 of 4 from the field.
Well, you also notice that Meralco that time blocked his path to the basket. He got a layup previously. That time he had to pull up for the jumper. Hindi pumasok.
Two-man game. Banquero and Almazan. Raymond, free throw line jumper. Off to the right.
Medyo pagod na dito si Poy Aram. I think he's signaling to his coach that he wants to be replaced.
Well, he has done a lot para sa TNT to start this game.
And Kelly Williams is actually waiting to check in for Poy Aram, but Poy Aram, he will... Oh, I thought he was going to take the 3.
And Ciso will do so. Pero hindi papasok.
Hindi umubra ang opensa dito ng TNT so far. It's been Meralco's defense. Here comes Aram.
To Almazan.
That's a 3. That's a 3.
Raymond almost got it down. Nang hinayang si Raymond doon.
Oh, wide open shot. Almazan, he can hit that 3.
Dean, you know, you look at the players on the court. They have their hands on their knees. 8 minuto pa lang nilalaro natin, but players are tired because they're giving it their all here at the start of Game 4.
You're in with Toto, okay? So you've got Kelly, okay? You're 2-peel now with Kelly, 2-peel, okay? Toto, you've got Kalinato. We can 5, but judge our 5. If it's near, if it's far, it's 3. It's 3, right? Now, if you see it's near and you're 5, make an impact. Wag masyado, then balik na, okay? Cliff, you might have to rotate out and we go, okay? Chance, you've got Pogoy, okay? You've got Halalon, B, okay? You got Halalon. I'll see if Octana's inside, I'll leave you. And if Donna comes out, I'll bring somebody else in, okay? Single, coach. Single, okay? Single. Single.
Poy Aram from games 1 to 3, he had a total of 10 points din in 3 games. But here in Game 4, in just 8 minutes, 12 puntos na agad ang inambag.
And it's also his first start of the conference. And actually, this is only his 6th game. And Poy Aram, actually, out of his 5 previous games, he was scoreless in 3. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Poy Aram, this is his breakout game this conference, first time in double figures.
You know, you got it. Hindi lang si Poy Aram 10 points lang in the last 3 games. 10 points pa lang siya in total in the entire conference heading into this game. But this is what he can do, and he's healthy and he sees good matchups on the floor. Very quick work on offense. Pero ngayon, naupo muna siya.
And it's interesting that so far in this game, neither team has scored from the perimeter. Puro mga inside incursions ang nangyayari dito. You know that TNT likes to stroke it from the outside. They did have 1 attempt from 3-point distance. Na-foul si BGR. He went to the line for 3 free throws. But in terms of connections, wala pang connections from 3-point distance or 4. Either way.
We also remember how Meralco in Game 2 was 1 of 14 from 3-point range. Hodge, jumper niya, hindi papasok. Halalon, pinakawalan na ni Coach Chot.
Those are the 2 starters back in the lineup. Si Kelly Williams at saka si Halalon, who lost their starting jobs in this game.
Pugoy swings it, heading back to RR. Quinto nakaharang sa kanya. Pugoy, balik kay heading. Another miss.
And Meralco has the possession. 50-50 ball going the Bolts' way.
AP had to hang in the air, pero ang ganda ng depensa ni Heading. Halalon with his second board.
There's going to be a foul.
We have an official suspension of play.
Pugoy is down on the other side.
No foul. No foul has been called so far. So I checked myself. Pero bagsak dun si Pugoy. And they stopped the play because it was the possession of TNT. Nakakuha ng bola si Halalon. Let's hope it's okay.
Kevin Ferrer will come in for RR Pugoy.
Papalitan muna ni Kevin Ferrer si RR Pugoy, but we're gonna hear from Eileen in a bit kung ano nga bang nangyari. Ito, tingnan natin dito.
Ito yung atake ni Pugoy. And he was stopped there in his tracks. Look at the enveloping defense ng Meralco. He was inside the shaded area but nowhere to go.
You know what, Dean? It looks like it was non-contact. So
yeah,
concerning, but it's good to see Pugoy walking on his own.
But he'll be sitting down for the time being.
We hope it's nothing too serious for RR. He did have 28 points in Game 3. 21 of those sa second half niya binuga. In the meantime, ito si Halalon.
And by the way, si Jordan Heading now 0 out of 3 from 3-point distance. And in game number 3, Heading was 0 out of 4.
That's an offensive foul on Halalon.
Offensive foul on 28, Gio.
Look at the ball fake. Tumama yata kay AB.
For Jordan Heading.
Yeah, he put that ball in the face of Aaron Black. Kanya siya natawagan. He tried to create the separation. It was a one-on-one move by Halalon versus Aaron Black. He actually had a step on Black.
Whether it was a ball fake or nagkataon lang na tumama, actually medyo swerte si Black. It was just a common foul. Could have been a technical perhaps. Here's Aram. Black, si Williams nakaharang sa kanya. Hodge now slightly loses it.
Oh, nakapak.
Rios tried to attack, pero yeah, you caught it, Dean.
Well, you know, Rios is a corner three-point shooter, and he likes to wait for a pass coming from that spot. And if he's driving, more often than not, he'll put his foot on the line.
Okay, pop up, triple handoff. Screen for Kevin. Then, okay, triple handoff Kelly for Kevin. Okay, and then elevator for Calvin coming out. Kung libre ka, Kevin, divide mo. Kung hindi, elevator for Calvin. If Kelly slip, you're going to switch that slip. Calvin coming out, okay? Get a movement shot. Let's go, let's go.
You know, Talk and Text is really a hard team. They've been manhandling us the last 2 games. So just everybody from the coaching staff to the players is coming together and trying to make it a little bit hard for them. It's finally nice to get a win. You know, we haven't beaten this team in a long time. And you have to credit the guys for sticking together, right? You know TNT will be back, and they did come back. And it was good that we kept our poise and we got the stops needed.
In some teams who go down 0-2, napanghihinaan na ng loob. But not Meralco. Meralco, they stayed within their game plan, their system, and they found a way to get on the board in the series.
Well, sabi nga ni Coach Luigi dun sa interview na yun, is that they stuck together. And they went back to what has brought them to the Final Four, and that is defense. And, you know, this team, alam po natin that it's a team that thrives on defense. In their 9 wins in this conference, they've held their opponents to an average of 83.7 points.
Let's see what TNT will be able to do in this offensive thrust of Tana. Still scoreless in this game. Calvin, the step back jumper, finally gets one to fall.
Well, that time, no opportunity for Meralco to trap or double team Calvin of Tana. And I think they need to do that for him to be able to release the ball. He's very comfortable going one-on-one.
Maraming kayang gawin si Calvin of Tana, including set his teammates up. But he still is most dangerous when he's the one doing the scoring. Cancino, now in the game for Meralco. Motion offense ng Bolts.
They're moving that ball around.
They want to get black in the post. And yung peskiness ni Halalon, which is a trademark of his, talagang maiirita ka, and it seems like it's what's happening with Aaron Black right now.
And for Meralco, as soon as they see Gio Halalon on the floor, they will attack him at the post. That's also the reason why he's been averaging about 10 minutes a game in the semifinal series. Oh, missed free throw here coming from Aaron Black.
These are actually his first free throws dito sa seryeng ito.
Black is shooting 60% from the line in the eliminations and the quarterfinals before the semifinals. Let's see how he does here in a second free throw. Got that foul from Halalon and missed both.
But Hodge gets the offensive rebound.
And what a workhorse Hodge off the offensive boards. He's a three.
Rios Vintes, and it's Comontin with the board.
Nambata, always ready coming off the bench. He's a firebrand. Let's see what he can do. Watch his slash, watch his outside shot. Ganda ng ikot doon, but
good strip by Rios.
Could be a foul. No, I think it might be stepping on the line.
Out of bounds after the
okay.
strip of Jansen Rios. Kaya babalik ang bola dito sa TNT.
But good defensive stand there by Meralco, taking away that shot down the baseline.
5 seconds na lang sa shot clock. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Bata. At gulat na gulat si Stingray. Coach Chot.
He's saying flop.
Eh halos nasa gitna na rin ng court si Coach Chot saying that, like you said, it was a flopped out from Meralco.
You know, if he's very convinced, he can challenge that. Ito, ang ginawa ni ng Batak. Oh, I don't think that was enough of a force to bring down Banquero. That could have been a flop. Anyway, hindi naman na-challenge.
Strategic din yung coaches natin in using their challenge. They know it can be a very close game. And we're feeling it din. Here in the first quarter, you can tell it's going to be a grinded out game hanggang dulo nitong game 4.
I think Meralco realizes that if they lose this one, they're going to be down in a 1-3 hold. Sandali, Hodge is down.
In a collision with Nambata. Actually, Cliff was setting a screen para kay Banquero. There was some drama involving Hodge back in game 3. Then like collision that happened between him and BGR.
Well, for Hodge, there will always be drama when he plays. Ito makita natin, there was a physical contact and then that push by Nambata off the established screen by Cliff Hodge. You see, nag-established ang screen si Cliff Hodge, kanya Nambata was called for the foul. He initiated the action and it's 2 free throws because nasa penalty na ang TNT.
May mga banggaan din na kahit pinapanood mo lang, parang nararamdaman mo rin.
Ay, oo.
Isa yun, yung banggaan. Yung shoulder ni Nambata went straight into the chest of Cliff Hodge.
Well, I tell you, in game number 3, somehow the series turned to be more physical than in games number 1 and 2. And I think that's because of the defensive orientation of Meralco. And now, that kind of physicality, nakikita na naman natin dito sa game number 4. Which is also probably the reason kung bakit labang pa ang
TNT is up by 1.
Yeah.
Pero nailapit ni Hodge. It's down to a 1-point game. Low scoring, and it's been a gritty contest here. Pabuntin, atake. Almost saw an opening, pero nagawa pa rin ang paraan even though Cancino was all over him.
Ang maganda nun is that they spread the floor, they had the ball moving, and they looked for the space to be able to penetrate at nahanap yun ni Pabuntin. And that kind of spacing is what TNT needs. A floater coming from Toto Jose na hindi pumasok.
And now TNT with a counter-attack. Good deflection by Banquero, 3-on-2 break. Quinto aatakihin si Oftana, unable to score. And there was a call, a foul called on Quinto.
There's no foul on number 19, Bonquito. His second foul, the first team foul.
Pangalawa na yan, Ibo.
And Meralco's taking a big gamble here with about 39 seconds left here in the first quarter of playing a small lineup. Wala si Bates, wala si Almazan. Only big guy on the floor is Toto Jose. And I want to be able to run with TNT.
Ferrer wanting to attack Cancino, and that's going to be 2 shots para kay Ferrer.
Foul on number 71, CJ
Well,
Cancino.
na-recognize ng TNT that Meralco's playing with a small lineup. So they're going to attack inside.
You know what, veterano na rin to si Kevin Ferrer. I think most of us remember him still as part ng Gilas Cadets. Pero yung mga cadets noon din, that was back in 2016, so they're bona fide veterans now in the PBA.
Well, he's 32 years old. And you remember he was drafted in the special draft in 2016. He's a 2-time PBA champion and a 2-time Southeast Asian Games gold medalist. He's in his 8th season in the PBA.
Ferrer gives TNT a 4-point lead. There's about 5 seconds separating the game and shot clocks. Ginugulo ni ng batak si Banquero. CB. Hindi maipagpag si Stingray. Now it's Hodge going downhill. Iwan kay Jose. Sapal kay Ferrer. He sends it out. Cancino for 4. Knocks it down.
Oh, what a shot coming from CJ Cancino.
Williams will not
beating the buzzer.
Able to answer back. A big shot para kay CJ.
Nakakagulat yun. Cancino, he went 7 out of 8 from the field in game number 3. And what an attempt that time to end the first quarter. And look at that shot. He picked up the ball, threw it up. Was that a 4-pointer?
Well, it's a 3-point shot.
It's a 3-point shot.
Arena Plus Sportsbook. Ayan, had his foot on the... But it's still a big way to end the first. And Meralco now just down by 1.
Okay, we scored on that earlier, huh? Calvin. Okay, Kevin. Okay,
Nagbabalik tayo dito sa Mall of Asia Arena and currently TNT still leads 20-19. Diyan din hawak-hawak ni RR Pugoy ang kanyang left hamstring habang palabas ng court dahil may naramdaman siyang pumitik after trying to attack the basket. It is the same hamstring injury that kept him out of the games multiple times this conference. Kaya naman given the history, they did an ultrasound in the dugout at meron silang nakitang tear that was diagnosed as a grade 1 hamstring strain. And normally, this has sidelined players for 2 to 3 weeks. Balik sa inyo.
Not good news para sa TNT, but thank you for that update, Eileen. Dean, how badly will the possible absence of Pugoy affect ito munang Game 4?
Exactly. We also want to say that Chris Newsom did not play in the first quarter. It doesn't look like he'll be playing at all because nakita natin during the warm-ups, his knee heavily taped, and he was actually limping off the court back to his bench after the warm-up. So in that situation, I don't think Chris Newsom is in a situation where he can play.
And as you can see, of course, SVP Executive Director, Ms. Erica D.
Along with Andrew Ted, also an SBPNF FIBA technical delegate, along with our commissioner, Willie Marshall. Naku, easy pick up here by Kevin Ferrer, and he will not score.
Good defense para kay Cancino. But Oftana, a transition 3 doesn't work.
And there's a foul by Meralco.
If you're Coach Chot, you're happy dun sa nakikita mong effort galing kay Ferrer. You know, Kevin knows he's only gonna play limited minutes, kaya binibigay niya na lahat in the minutes he's on the floor.
And Coach Luigi Trillo still sticking with his small lineup. Wala si Almasan, wala si Bates.
Nampatak, still nothing for TNT from beyond the arc. They're 0 for 5. Quinto. Oftana bothering him right now. Bong to the cutting CJ, got fouled. Hindi papasok yung tira, but that's gonna be free throws for CJ.
Yung movement without the ball ni CJ Cancino. And he's evolving into a player who can do a lot of things in versatility niya. He's not just a spot-up shooter from the outside. He's a guy who can move without the ball, get the ball close to the basket, as he did that time to get himself at the free throw line. Leading scorer ngayon ng Meralco is CJ Cancino.
And you could really clearly see din yung transition nila into Cancino having a bigger role in their offense. Mula nung start pa lang ng conference, their first few wins, Cancino was named player of the game.
Only 26 years old, got a lot of basketball years ahead. He was the 11th pick, first round in 2024.
Meralco is now taking the lead, 21-20. Ferrer gustong ibalik sa TNT, and
yes,
he does so with a 3.
One of those shock troopers, and a veteran shock trooper at that for TNT. Now, you always have to respect his outside shot. He's been there, done that, very experienced veteran.
That's 4 points for Kevin in only 4 minutes of time on the floor. Pero Hodge with the reverse underneath.
And a great pass coming from Toto Jose, recognizing kung nasaan si Cliff Hodge. Had to get it though on the reverse. But that kind of passing, the no-hero ball mentality, the unselfish play, that's something that Meralco will want to do
Look
to get this game.
Just
Yeah, and Oftana is going to be doing a lot of things, a lot of improvisation. Oh, bangga doon, bagsak si Cliff Hodge. He's got to improvise because the defense nakatutok sa kanya. He's got to do a lot of new things to be able to dislodge and disengage from the defense ng Meralco.
tingnan natin to with the first hit from TNT from downtown. Isang 3-point shot na hatid sa atin ng Arena Plus Sportsbook.
And you notice yung nag-close out kay Kevin Ferrer was Banquero. And you need a much bigger guy to close out on Ferrer to distract his attention from 3-point distance.
CB.
Nako, naapak. And that's the pressure defense in Enciso. He's there not necessarily to steal the ball, but to disrupt the flow of the offense.
You know, si Simon marami rin kayang ibigay dito sa TNT. Can also be a dead shot from deep.
Yeah.
But right now, his role is make life hard para kay Banquero.
Now Bates is back in the game.
Enciso looking to attack. Had to stop, bigay kay Cobuntin. Pull-up jumper by the free throw line. No good, and Oftana is down. Oftana looks hurt. Meralco on the attack.
It's 5 against 4.
Cancino open in the corner. Wala yan. And that's gonna be Meralco basketball as Oftana still looks shaken up, and look who approaches him para kumustahin siya. It's Chris Newsom and Bong Quinto.
Now on the other end of the floor, it was a 5-on-4 in favor of Meralco, but they chose to take the low percentage outside shot. If you were Meralco, you would have wanted to just attack the basket because you had the numbers. Oftana's being helped back to the bench. I hope he's not badly hurt. Panoorin ulit na kaya natin kung ano nangyari kay Oftana. Oh, sandali. Oh, he's not walking. He's okay.
Let's see what happens here.
Now he went up for the offensive rebound. You know, he tried to get the putback and then landing hard.
Mukhang nagkatamaan yung mga paa nila ni Hodge while mid-air. And perhaps wasn't able to stabilize his landing.
Now he's back on the bench. I don't think he's badly hurt.
I think he just has to be subbed out dahil tinigil yung laro with him hurt.
Yeah.
But it looks like he might try to check in on the next dead ball.
Yeah, he's sitting on that chair for players ready to check in.
He will have time to recover as there's a timeout requested. In the second quarter, it's TNT still up by 2.
So we've got to play it 3. Okay, 3, right? Because he can't show anymore. When he's here, Rosa's attacking. You understand? So, guard, priority is the guard. Meaning you don't leave it. You don't leave it now. 1 in team, 2 in team. We have to have daggers. Okay? We know Octana can shoot. We know Ferrer can shoot. We know Enciso can shoot. So the tag has to be here. And when they make a pass, we've got to react coming out. Okay? Are we switching anyone? Switching. Headings inside.
Back inside the Mall of Asia Arena in Game 3. Yung depensa ng Meralco limited the biggest stars of TNT. Calvin Oftana, 6 points lang. Jordan Heading, after a player of the game performance in Game 2, biglang scoreless din in Game 3.
Well, nakita natin, the block situation, 4-1 in favor of Meralco. Yes, it was the defense that brought Meralco life and got them the win in game number 3. Ito ang mga stats ni Jordan Heading from a 24-point performance in game 1 down to 0 in game number 3. 0 out of 7 from the floor. And he was a -6 in that situation while he was plus 26 rather in game number 2. I want to take this opportunity also, Jat, kung pwede kong sabihin, maraming salamat and congratulations to the 20 winners sa ating Philippine Star Sports Column Contest, Pasko sa Enero. And the awarding took place at the Starbucks Molito, Alabang kanina. Our first prize winner, Sherwin Elioren, came all the way from Davao to pick up his 50,000 first prize and a gift package. And one of our winners was Homer Garcia, who actually is blind. And he listens to our PBA coverages all the time, and he's a big basketball fan. Congratulations to Homer and to Sherwin and to all of the winners of Pasko sa Enero.
That was a big defensive stop para sa TNT. Meralco forced to the end of their shot clock. Aram, straight away 3. JP, mainit pa rin.
What a performance by JP Aram. And he's going to stroke that shot. If Brandon Bates does not go out or somebody else from Meralco does not close out, he will take that shot. He is Karam.
Now that's Anjo's shot. Yung pull-up, mid-range, money for Anjo. But Aram din, you were talking about him, 15 points, hindi pa nagmimintis both from the field and the free throw line.
Unbelievable performance.
Kubuntin from the corner. That doesn't go.
A pick up there by Chris Banquero. You know, Anjo Karam is keeping Aaron Black sitting on the bench.
28-25, 3-point lead para sa TNT. But they turned the ball over.
And that was an unforced error. Kevin Ferrer did not expect that pass to go to him. But can Meralco capitalize on that error?
Let's see what they do on this side. Banquero looking for a teammate. It's Karam who will fire away from deep. Wala yan, but Rio skied high, only to lose that rebound to Ferrer. Aram na naman ang pupuntahan ng tropa.
It's an isolation, one-on-one against Bates.
And
he will score!
Still got it! Aram can do no wrong here in the first half.
And Coach Luigi Trillo, Coach Nenad Vucinic, they've got to find a solution to this problem, who is Boy Aram, who now has 17 points, going for his 18th point at the free throw line. Ito, Single coverage by Brandon Bates, not able to stop that jump hook galing kay Poy Aram.
Nabanggit nga ni Dadin kanina, 5 laro pa lang ang nilalaro ni Aram before this Game 4. And he scored a total of 10 points dun sa 5 larong yon. But now, look at him, 18 points here in the first half.
Now, Almazan is going to be checking back in momentarily to try to stop Poy Aram's explosion.
Quinto.
That's a 3. Hindi pumasok.
And no one there to help Rios on the rebound.
Yeah.
More than half of the points of TNT have belonged to Aram.
And there he goes again. They're setting the place for Poy Aram, and he's attacking Brandon Bates' defense. And that time comes from the outside. He didn't post up, but he's got the quickness.
What's impressive too, Dean, they've been getting the ball to him in different ways, and that's the first miss of Aram tonight as we take a look at another 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. This one coming from the man of the moment, Poy Aram.
Man at the moment is right. That's 1 out of 2 para sa kanya.
Aram has given TNT a 7-point lead here. Almost halfway through the second quarter. Quinto, bibigay kay Black.
And by the way, in the series before this game, Aram averaging only 8 minutes and 13 seconds a game. Here's a nice turnaround shot coming from Banquero. That is 9 points para sa kanya. What a turnaround here for Aram. He's soaking in the minutes. His minutes were actually managed when he was reactivated. Oh, what a shot coming from Oftana.
As difficult as it can get for a 3-pointer para kay Calvin. 7 points now for Oftana.
Yeah. And Aram, by the way, already has logged 10 minutes and 22 seconds in this game. That's already over his average in this series.
Foul called on Inciso dun sa atake ni Banquero, and Coach Chot Reyes still pleading his case, disagreeing with that call. Right after Aram hit one, sumunod naman itong si Calvin Oftana. Look at this, a step back, got rid of the defense, and a 3-point shot brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook.
And if you're Coach Chot Reyes, you gotta be happy. TNT is up by 8 points. BGR has scored only 1 point. Heading has scored only 2 points. Nambata hasn't even scored, and yet they're up by 8.
Din dito mo rin makikita kung gaano ka-importante yung 3-point shots sa TNT. In the first quarter, maganda laro nila pero no 3-point shots. They led by just 1 point. Nung nahuhulog na yung mga tres dito sa second, now they extend their lead to 7.
That's 3 3-pointers by TNT in this quarter. And there is going to be a foul against Meralco. Caging. Holding.
At may sinusumbong dito ang TNT with Calvin Oftana. You'll look at his left arm, medyo namumula nga dun sa tricep area.
Pero si Coach Nedat at saka si Coach Luigi, pareho silang kinakausap yung ating referee.
Oftana has it. Ang ayaw kasing mangyari ng Meralco is mag-init si Oftana coming off a 6-point performance in Game 3.
Okay, look at that switch. Hodge against Oftana. He takes a poor shot, but Aram continues to sizzle. 21 points now for this guy who's averaging only 8 minutes a game in this series.
And there's a foul called on heading. And the coaches are heated. Alam naman natin din that both teams are fighting for something big. Gusto ng TNT a 3-1 advantage in the series. Meralco looking to tie it up to a piece. But a technical foul. called on Coach Luigi Trillo. And also on Coach Chot Reyes, may technical din. Both of them actually almost entering the court, or actually entering the court trying to talk to the referees, Dean.
So they erased, they neutralized each other's technical fouls. Yan ang napapag-usapan natin si Aram. I mean, before or during this conference, you know, he's averaging only 2 points a game. This is unbelievable. From an average of 2 points a game, he's now got 21 points in this one. Quinto, not able to hit it from the corner.
Yun ang nawawala dito sa Meralco. They're shooting from deep. And Ciso, gustong umatake. Had to step on the brakes. Hinahanap ng tropa si Oftana. He wants to take Black in the post.
1-on-1, and there's a foul. And for Aaron Black, you know, he needed help in a single situation. He would have been dead meat. So he gave up the foul. And Bonquito back.
Makibalita
defense
tayo.
Against Oftana. Yeah.
Sorry, Dean. Makibalita tayo kay Eileen.
Jot and Dean, dahil palitan ng puntos ang nangyayari, Coach Luigi Trillo made sure to ask Meralco to double down on defense in the latest huddle. Ika nga niya, our priority is not to leave the guard, so whenever we are inside the paint, kailangan siguraduhin mabantayan din ang outside shooting kasi kayang-kaya ng TNT mag-kick out ng bola. For TNT, Coach Chot Reyes asked them to contain the drives of Meralco as he says, go under everyone except Encino when he is on the floor in an attempt to get Meralco to commit to pull-ups and also drive more so they can in turn attack offensively. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Eileen.
Got to make those adjustments. And it looks like it's going to be Meralco ball now. Poy Aram is asking for a challenge. Ano, kakagat pa si Coach Chot? Maybe not, maybe not. Hindi kakagat si Coach Chot.
You know, si Coach Chot is the type who will save his challenge for perhaps a more important juncture of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, they're ahead. So they're ahead by 9 points. Now, if you're behind and if you're trying to come back, maybe you'll want a challenge to stop momentum.
Meralco had to put it up. It went in, but referee says hindi raw counted. They're gonna review it.
They will check. Now, did he release it before the red light came on?
Some of our officials actually waved it off already. Malayo. He still had his hand on that ball. Pero sayang yun din. Would have been a 4-pointer for Meralco.
Referees are saying the shot is not counted. I think Meralco knew it.
Four and a half to go in the second quarter. Lumaki na to 9 points in laman ng TNT. They can add more. Enciso gets it to BGR. Stripped away. Meralco on the run. Quinto. A foul by Aram. Hitting the head of Quinto. They exchange some words, but respect prevails. But it will still be reviewed, Dean, kung kailangan i-rule it more than a common foul.
Well, for Bonquito, he just wanted to attack aggressively. Alam niya, Poy Aram was on his heels. But yun naman ang tapag ni Bonquito. Now, they're gonna now reveal, the referees are, that I think it'll be a regular foul. Yeah, that's a regular foul. Ito, makita natin. There was an attempt to block the ball.
That's what you call a playoff foul. Just
yeah.
Not allowing anything easy.
And at the same time, ang naisip doon ni Quinto, you might want to attack this guy who's been hurting us.
That's true.
The most on the other end of the floor. Oh, missed free throw here from Bonquito.
That's Meralco's 6th miss from the line. As you take a look at Quinto, nag-pick up din yung performance niya din in Game 3.
That's right, for Bonquito, you know, he finally got his starting job back in game number 3. Other adjustments that Coach Luigi did in game number 3 in reinstating Quinto and Banquero in the starting lineup.
Quinto makes up for his earlier miss. Alalon, hand off to Heading. If you're just joining us, R.R. Pugoy hurt his hamstring in the first quarter, and all signs point to him sitting out the rest of this game. Ang kinakatakot pa ng tropa is that they might miss him in the coming games too.
So two key players on both sides hurting, Newsom at saka si Pugoy. Calvin Oftana had a little bit of a scare kanina, but he's now back on the floor.
Banquero gets it. Cancino trying to free himself up. CJ over the defense of TNT.
What an elevation coming from Cancino. He suspended himself in midair before taking the shot. Oh! BGR missing on that attempted dunk.
Quinto stripped away. And our referees, mag-uusap-usap sila. That's gonna go back to TNT.
Now Quinto is saying challenge. Kakagat ba si Coach Luigi?
And Quinto will say yes. Quinto will get what he asks for.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Nakita mo din, at the last second, nung sumenyas na si Coach Luigi, biglang sabi ni Bong, wag na. So, I'm not sure if he's confident.
Yeah. No, I thought it was very clear that last touch si Bong Quinto. But now, they gamble in that head coach challenge, which they might need later. But, you know, when you make a head coach challenge, usually it's to be able to stop momentum. Kaya na sinabi natin kanina of the other side. And if you're trailing, kanina, wise decision by Coach Chotres not to challenge. Because anyway, they were ahead. Momentum was on their side. I want to keep that challenge for later on, just in case it'll be a tight game down the stretch. And it could be a tight game down the stretch, the way things are going.
Yeah, this first half has been incredibly competitive between two teams hungry to get an edge in this series.
Well, so far in this second quarter, ang TNT has scored only 17 points. And that's a testament to the defense na pinapakita ng Meralco. It's been low scoring so far. Ito, pakinggan natin.
After the review, last touch po si Quinto. The challenge made by Meralco Bolts is not successful.
So Meralco loses their challenge.
Yeah.
Not only na hindi na overturn yung tawag, they don't have any challenges for the rest of this game.
I thought that was very clear. Nasayang yung challenge ng Meralco. But anyway, here we go.
TNT trying to speed up the pace. BGR handoff to Heading. Jordan will get away. Will finish for two.
Foul number 6, Chris Banquero, his first foul.
Ito, makikita natin ang versatility ni Heading. And he got that pick from Aram. And too late, yung recovery defense ni Albasan to stop him from scoring. And usually he likes to drive on his left side because that is his strong side. But that time, nag-right side siya, no? Kanya, I thought he got the jump on the defense ng Meralco.
That's 5 points now for Heading. Banquero siyang bumubuhay sa Meralco. Oh, that's what he did back in the first quarter. Medyo tumahimik ng bahagya dito sa second.
Penalty on Halalon, penalty situation. Ipapalit ni Coach Shot si Halalon. Yun ang tendency ni Halalon is to, because of his pesky defense, he's not able to pull the reins. Medyo nainis dun si Coach Chotres when he saw that foul by Halalon. You can play pesky defense without fouling, especially if you're in the penalty situation.
Both teams actually are above the limit now.
You gotta be careful with your fouls. You don't want to give up too many points, especially in a close game. Remember what happened in game number 1? 47 free throws given up by Meralco for TNT.
And Ciso dips his head down. Sapal ni Cancino. Banquero biglang nag-turbo. E1 kay CJ. Collision mid-air, no whistle.
That's good stand-up defense by TNT. Nakita nila, umatake si Cancino. They just closed.
And good defense for Meralco.
Oh, that's a foul. And again, TNT in the penalty. At babalik sa linya. Ang Meralco. Banquero shaken up.
Kanina pa rin nababangga ito si CB. He'll be able to take a short breather as there's a timeout requested. Lamang pa rin ang 7 ang TNT. You're still watching Game 4 of the semifinals, Meralco versus TNT. Boy, Aram with his defensive stop brought to you by Pioneer Elastoseal. Selyado ang bubong. Anumang panahon, the door was shut on Bong Quinto dun sa attacking yun. So si Aram din, not only on offense yung impact niya, pati sa depensa, gumagawa rin.
Both ways. But in particular, ang kanyang offensa because 21 points na siya dito. And we know that he's averaging only 2 points a game in this conference. Can you believe it? Points in the paint. Ang laki na lamang ng TNT because they've been attacking inside. 22 points na in the paint for TNT and only 14 for Meralco. And that's the reason kung bakit mas mataas ang kanilang field goal percentage. They're taking a high percentage shots inside. They're shooting 44.1% from the floor against Meralco's 32.4%.
Well, currently, it's a 7-point lead para sa Tropa. You take a look at these two coaches and these two decorated coaches, we have to say, and they really have been fighting for their teams. And it's not just yung pag-game plan, it's working the referees as well, protecting their players by complaining kapag may nakikita silang they feel are not calls or missed calls. They've been passionate in this game for sure.
And they've been making the right adjustments. Si Coach Luigi in game number 3, can you imagine reinstating Quinto at si Banquero in the starting lineup midway this series? And Coach Chotreas in game number 1, he did away with his tendency of taking 3-point shots to go inside. Got himself a lot of points from the foul line, and that was the game in game number 1 kung saan nanalo ang TNT.
And there's one more similarity between them. They've both been called technical fouls here in game 4. BGR sapal kay Amazan, but he gets it right back and mops up his own mess.
That time, two big guys for TNT dominating the boards. BGR tsaka si Aram.
Cancino fouled by NC, so he'll head to the line.
And he can manufacture those shots. Now to Cliff Hodge. He's got to do a better job of helping out Almasan under the boards. Kasi nandyan si BGR, nandyan si Aram. He's got to do a lot more in terms of helping out on the defensive boards in particular.
Most of the points din itong Meralco in recent possessions, they've been coming from the free throw line.
Yeah, nasa penalty yung TNT, and because they wanna put a lot of pressure on Meralco, tuloy sila nagbibigay ng foul, and they're putting the Bolts at the line.
We have an official suspension of play.
Seems like there might be blood on the left arm of Ganuelas Rosser. Had to be cleaned up a bit. Physical talaga tong game 4, and we also, like you said, it started heightening up yung physicality in game 3, and that's gonna be the tone of this series.
I think so, because Meralco saw that the more physical this game becomes, the better para sa kanila, because they're the defense-oriented team. But in this contest, it's been defense-oriented actually. It's low scoring. Nakaka 42 points lang ang TNT dito. If you multiply that by 2, that's 84 points for the game. And this team averages more than 100 a game.
A minute and 45 left in the first half. Heading steps back.
Oh, yes.
Finally hit the 3. He's been looking for that.
Yeah. That's his first 3-pointer since game number 2.
And yung outside shot, nalaglag na talaga for TNT here in the second period. Cancino trying to extricate himself, finally does so. Floats down the middle, doesn't get the bounce. CJ gets it back. Sapal kay BGR.
With that big man defense on TNT, they've been able to control that inside game.
Almost a steal for Quinto. But it's ruled TNT possession.
Referee was on top of that play. They had the best angle, so they rule it for TNT with 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Aurin, bigay kay Heading. 4 naman, hanapin ni Jordan, no good. He was also looking for a foul, pero walang pito.
Less than a minute to go in this first half. And one guy who's very happy with this situation, as CJ Cancino score, is Kelly Williams. Doesn't have to put in too many minutes because of the way Aram has been playing. It's just an amazing performance by Aram. Someone who's averaging 8 minutes a game in the series, 7 minutes a game in the conference.
Medyo tumahimik na nga siya sa lagay na to eh. He was making loud noise back in the first quarter.
But 21 points, 12 in the first quarter.
TNT has been trying to attack him though with these forced switches.
Now here's the switch. Big man against Cancino.
CJ misses. Naghahanap ng flop on TNT. But they do have the ball. Aram has to put it up. And TNT will not be able to make an attempt. And time will expire in the first half. 7-point lead for TNT.
Coach Chotre saying that there was a foul on Aram. Could have also been a travel on Aram. But both coaches now are in the center of the court, both complaining. And that's the heightened intensity ng laban ito. As Coach Chotre, Coach Luigi also had some comments on the officiating. Wow! This is quite a game.
And what a performance it was in the first half para kay Poy Aram. Siya ang ating Babad Player of the Half, brought to you by Divan. Enjoy unforgettable TV Babad moments with your family, only with Divan.
Well, 12 points in the first quarter, and he didn't let up. 9 points in the second quarter to finish with 21 at the end of the half. And Poy Aram playing a solid game as they try to go to the finals. They're still a long way off. It's 2-1, the series lead for TNT. Meralco trying to even up the score.
the Mall of Asia Arena for Game 4 of this Best of 7 semifinal series sa pagitan ng TNT Tropang 5G at ng Meralco Bolts. This is the race to golden glory at currently nangunguna sa serye ang TNT 2-1. And while Meralco is looking to equalize, talagang pinapahirapan sila ng TNT dahil even with one of their best scorers out, nangunguna pa rin ang TNT 45-38. So mamaya babantayan natin kung anong magiging updates kay RR Pagoy as he was injured in the first quarter of this game. But ngayon, babalikan naman natin ang mga pangyayari. Last January 9, nagkaroon tayo ng Feast of the Black Nazarene, and here are some of the players that took part of it. Meron tayong nakikita on your screens, Adrian Nocom, also with RK Ilagan, mga batang tondo, walang hanggang pasasalamat nga daw. Alman Vosotros also nagpapasalamat sa 2026 because of the devotion that they have for the Black Nazarene. And lastly, we also have Glenn Cubontin, who says Viva, and he's currently playing here today. So, meron din tayong nakita, Calvin Abueva, wala na akong sasabihan pa, pagpatuloy mo lang ang pagtitiwala, walang mawawala, lahat ng hiling may darating at may kapayapaan sa mundong namulatan. So again, a lot of our PBA players taking part in the translasyon. And of course, if you're watching the PBA games here live, talagang maraming exciting experiences and solid experiences that you could have here in the PBA. Pero kung hindi nga, ito, may hinanda kaming feature para sa inyo, and this is the PBA Extra Experience.
Hi, Marino.
Shoutout Arinol. Shoutout Arinol. Sobrang ingay mo. Buhay ka.
Okay. Marinol. Dito natin. Hi, Marinol. Thank you so much for supporting us in the season. Hey, what's up, Mark? Shout out to Mark, baby.
Doctor's notes, sir.
Open up your head.
Could you say it's a fan cell phone from Upper Box?
You're back inside the Mall of Asia Arena kung saan nagaganap ang Game 4 ng PBA 50th Season Philippine Cup Semifinals between TNT and Meralco. Salamat po sa pagsama nyo sa amin dito sa RPTV. We got Shot Sulit and Darin Quinito Henson, and it's a 7-point lead para sa TNT Tropang 5G, up 45-38. What are the things that they did correctly, Dean, no first half?
You know, interesting that TNT has been playing tough defense because it's more known for its offense. Ang Meralco has not scored even 20 points in either quarter. But the big story, of course, in the first half, yung ginawa ni Poy Aram. 21 points for this guy who's averaging 2 points in the conference. Come on! This guy is just amazing in this contest as you take a look at some very interesting stats. Yung field goal percentage ng Meralco, naku, 31%. That's not gonna cut it. And that's also because of TNT's defense. Sa 3-point shooting, mas marami ang TNT. And Meralco only 1 out of 8 from that distance. Starter points, ang laki ng diferensya. Points in the paint, malaki din ang diferensya. And, you know, a lot of those stats contributing to this lead of TNT at this point, despite the fact that they lost Arar Pogoy after only about a minute in this game. And, well, anyway, na-neutralize naman ng Meralco because Chris Newsom also has not played and it doesn't look like he will in this game.
That's right, and that's why other guys have had to step up. Banquero and Cancino leading the way para sa Bolts. And like you said, Aram with 21 points in the first half alone.
Ang magandang storya for TNT is hindi lang po si Poy Aram, kundi si Heading at Oftana already combining for 15 points where they combined for only 6 points in game number 3 kung saan nanalo ang Meralco. So that's good news that those two guys, two chief gunners, are back to work.
You know, this is giving me deja vu feels from game 2 because Meralco could not hit the 3-pointer back then, and I'll lay down the story in a little bit. Puntahan muna natin yung Dean's List.
Well, for TNT, they have not been able to put enough pressure on CJ Cancino, who already has 11 points. And however, they've been able to get a lot of they've been able to create the mismatches and they're back to work. But that was a decent for Meralco. Ang bilis ng transition. For Meralco, check mark for defensive goals. X mark naman, no hero ball because they haven't been getting those assists. And finally, yung clock delay. But we're back to TNT. Okay, pressure on CJ Cancino, that's a check mark, and then X mark. Yung check mark on create a mismatch, and back to work is also a check mark. So 2 check marks for TNT and 1 X mark, and for Meralco it's the reverse. 2 X marks and 1 check mark.
Well, in the meantime, Dean, let's send it to the floor because we are awarding the Gilas Pilipinas women, and group of hoopers we're very, very proud of.
Another basketball team that made all of us proud once again in the recent Southeast Asian Games. Like the men's squad, this team also defied many obstacles to still win the gold medal. Also against the host team in the 5x5 women's basketball finals of the SEA Games recently in Bangkok, Thailand, regaining for the Philippines the gold medal and is third in the last 4 stagings of the biennial event. A round of applause to these players who fought hard for the gold. April Bernardino, France May Cabinbin, Ana Alicia Katrina Castillo, Monique Allison Del Carmen, Katrina Guitinco, Janine Pontejos, Marise Andrea Tonko, Quinn Casey De La Rosa. Not present tonight, but still part of the teams are Angelica Marie Surada, Carl Ann Pingol, Luna Ozar, Sofia Eve Dignadice, Sarah Judith Hain, Stephanie Berberabe, and Elisha Gabrielle Bade. Let us also give our gratitude to the members of the coaching staff led by head coach Patrick Aquino, who's also currently an assistant coach with Blackwater. His Gilas women's assistants are Jose Ramon Garcia, Julie Amos, Ron Paulo Gorospe, team manager Magnum Membrere III, PT Russell Don Urag, trainer Noel Zorilla, team coordinator Sander Gubat, and utility Jose Feloteo Basihan. Mabuhay ang atletang Pilipino! Maraming salamat po for your service, ladies and gentlemen. Palakpakan po natin ang Gilas Women's Team.
Thank you and congratulations to our Gilas Pilipinas women for bringing honor anew to our country, winning the gold medal in
Coach
the Southeast
Batakino,
Asian
oh yeah.
Games. Yeah.
Team Manager Magnum Membrere. Naku, kaibigan natin yan. And of course, big congratulations to our Executive Director of the SBP,
Yes.
Attorney Erika D.
Hindi rin madali din yung pinagdaanan ng Gilas Pilipinas
oo.
women.
Parang yung dinaanan ng Lasal para nanalo ng UAP. Mahirap din yun.
Oh, definitely. But, you know, mahirap din ang pagdadaanan nitong dalawang teams ito because even though TNT is ahead, you know that there's a punch in Meralco's pocket they're waiting to bring out here in the second half. We begin the third quarter now. Para sa mga nakaputing Meralco Bolts, Banquero, Bates, Hodge, Black, and Quinto.
Well, Bates really could not. Oh, nice
What a
getaway.
move.
Nice getaway for Cliff Hodge. And Brandon Bates had 3 personal fouls in the first half. Kaya hindi masyado nagpakita. Nambatang also with 3 personal fouls in the first half. And Nambatang has not scored. Bates has not scored. Oh, what an extra pass!
And there it is, the jam from BGR.
And the pass coming from Poyera. That's his first assist of the game. And Aram is showing a lot of things here on the floor for TNT.
Eh, nung halftime pala, oh, what a finish by Black. I mean, parang nag-horse na lang itong dalawang teams to start the third quarter.
All the points so far scored inside the painted area. And that's what you like. They're going for the high percentage shots.
BGR, gustong atakihin si Bates.
And if that's on Bates, that'll be number 4. Nalalaki yung mga mata ni BGR when he sees that it's Bates. Oh, that'll be that's the 4th personal fouls on Brandon Bates. And he's just not able to control BGR. And that was the previous play on the pass coming from Aram. BGR nakawala.
Ito na talaga yung ating Dean's List.
Okay.
Ito for TNT.
Okay, pressure on CJ. That's not happening. CJ Cancino already with 11 points in the first half. They've been able to create a lot of mismatches off the switch, which is a big reason kung bakit pag nagro-roll si Aram nakakawala siya. And they're back to work. Meaning to say Calvin Oftana at saka si Jordan Heading already with 15 points combined in the first half after going only 6 points in the entire game 3. At ito naman for Meralco, ang ating report card, 1 check mark. They've been able to set their defensive goals because 45 points lamang ang TNT in the first half. But they have not been able to get their assists and they have not been able to clog the lane, giving up a lot of points in the paint para sa TNT.
Ito yung Meralco trying to right the wrongs in the first half. But you know, it was still incredible that, di ba yung mga stats natin, Dean, they were telling a story that dominant ang TNT as Almazan got that block. Dominant ang TNT in the first half, but it was only a 7-point game.
Yeah, I think Meralco's defense also was holding strong.
Take a look at this defensive stop brought to you by Pioneer Last Seal. Selyado ang bubong anumang panahon.
Ang hindi natin napapanood so far dito is Galinato for TNT. That's because of the excellent play of Poy Aram. Sandali, meron yatang nakaapak doon. Hindi, foul. There is a foul on Simon Enciso. Very tenacious when it comes to defense, and that's the reason why he's foul prone. Ganun din si Gio Halalon. And if you're Meralco, you want to take advantage.
We can really say pinapahirapan ni Enciso si Banquero, but pinapahirapan din naman ni Chris Banquero itong si Simon.
Yes. Oh, initya na lang ni Aaron Black. And that's usually his kind of shot. Here's Enciso.
The kick out of Tana, corner 3. That's good.
Oh, what a pass coming from Enciso. The penetration, the kick out. That's exactly how Coach Chotres runs his plays to get the corner 3-point shooters open.
Quinto. Siya naman ang atake. That familiar fall away doesn't find the bounce. And Enciso with another rebound. Nagtitimo na naman of Tana. This time, atake. Iwan kay Aram.
Hindi lang pumasok. He's gonna go to the line. And look at the unselfishness ng TNT. Nakawala na doon si Oftana inside the shaded area. Still opting to pass the ball to his big guy, Poy Aram. Kanina nakita natin si Poy Aram giving the ball inside to BGR. At eto naman yung assist galing kay Enciso to a corner three-point shooter si Oftana. A lot of assists here, opening the second half for TNT.
And that just goes to show you what modern basketball is. Diba? You have a lane. In traditional thinking, or a couple of decades ago, you wanted your player to attack, take that layup, but there was an open shooter, resulted to 3 points para sa TNT.
And this lead is now up to 10.
I mean, look at that stat line. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks. Pang end of the game na yan, but we still have 9 minutes left in the third quarter.
That's unbelievable. What a start for Poy Aram. And alam na natin kung sino magiging best player kung manalo dito ang TNT. As early as now.
Not unless someone erupts for maybe 40 points in the second half.
Now Aaron Black is sitting down. And they're gonna go with Jansen Rios on the floor. Here's Quinto.
That's 3 straight possessions na napilit ng TNT ang Meralco to use up all 24 seconds of their shot clock.
Napapag-usapan natin yung depensa ng Meralco. Now we gotta talk about the defense ng TNT. Here's Poy Aram. That would have been too much na kung pumasok pa yung 3-point shot. Sabi ni Poy Aram, apologize to the bench. No need, no need. It was an open shot.
And we have Eileen who has a report for us.
Jot and Dean with Meralco's output stuck at 19 points each quarter in the first half. Ang sigaw ni Coach Sandro Soriano is we need to move the ball and the man. Pinapahirapan daw sila ng depensa at ng switching ng TNT pero kinakailangan pa rin nila maghanap ng opening, especially since a lot of their shots have been forced or taken at the end of the shot clock. On defense, the main problem is the revelation of Poy with 21 points in the first half, so more pressure is put on the off-ball defenders to be more active so they can take him out of the post. Now for TNT, kahit na nangunguna sila, ang sigaw ni Coach Josh Reyes is that was an ugly game. Distracted daw sila, even losing poise over the smallest things. Kaya naman moving forward, the ask is to add effort to win the rebounding game and adjust on the cost because ika nga ni Coach Josh, we can't keep on giving up free throws. We need to dictate where Meralco gets their shots. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Well, yung nireport nga lang ni Eileen na gustong baguhin ng Meralco is the same story we saw in the first few possessions. Yung nauubos yung shot clock nila before they get an attempt.
And they're getting pressured by the defense ng TNT. And here's Poy Aram again on the firing end. Nabigyan siya ng bola ni Simon Enciso. Enciso's actually keeping that ball moving around. And he's facilitating and he's executing their offense. A good job here by Simon Enciso. He may not be scoring the points, but he's keeping that ball active and his teammates involved in the offense.
Earlier, well, actually, this was last season when Poy Aram scored a career-high 31 points against Rain or Shine, and he could very well exceed that number.
Yeah. Nakaka-25 points na siya rito.
Banquero. Stolen by Oftana. Ito na naman ang tropa. Calvin to Poy again.
And Poy Aram continues to pile up the points. Siya ang hinahanap ng kanyang mga kakampi. And look at the unselfishness of Calvin Oftana. You know this guy's a gunner. He can stroke it from anyone on the floor, but he looked for the big guy for the high percentage shot. Another 2 points from inside the painted area.
And Aram is playing the game of his life. And speaking of life, he has given exactly that to the TNT Tropang 5G.
Your heads are down, but we run a 2-in-V. 2-in-V, you're supposed to stop ball. A 3-in-V, we're big, nobody's dropping down.
They're tracing now. That's why. Let's keep our go. So now they go middle pick and roll, we'll switch. And make them, don't let them walk you down into the post. If they try to walk you down to the post, you can triple switch.
What defense do you want to run?
I got Poy, we're 7.
7 on middle.
Yeah.
73? 73. 73 with Raymond, okay? 73. Okay? One, if you're gonna go 5 and you wanna go 5, make sure you make a net back in your back.
Coach, basta problem, I'm piping and then they pass it to boy. So you don't have boy no more.
Well, Cliff will catch. Somebody's gotta drop. And we're not giving this. Everybody's staying attached. You know, if somebody catches, somebody's not.
Here inside the Mall of Asia Arena, CJ Cancino had 8 points and was scoreless in OT in their first meeting this conference. Nung game 1 naman din, 13 points in the first quarter, pero 1 point the rest of the way. Game 2, 9 points. In game 3, that's when the sophomore clicked.
And he shot 87.5% from the floor. 7 out of 8 from the floor for CJ Cancino with 18 points in game number 3. Ito ang ginawa niya. He was just waxing hot. He was 3 out of 4 from three-point distance. Wow. From averaging 11.5 points in the first 2 games sa semifinals, moved it up to 18 points in game number 3. Now, he's got to step it up here in this game number 4. Kailangan na kailangan siya ng Meralco on the offensive end while Poy Aram. And he missed that time. Still trying to get the offensive rebound. Kita mo naman na activity niya. And by the way, kanina, he ran the floor. And you want to reward your big guy if he's running the floor and he's getting himself open underneath the basket. You pass the ball to him, and that's exactly what happened with Poy Aram.
Ito na si Cancino, just doesn't get the roll. You know, CJ has 11 points, pero yung 11 points have been very quiet.
Well, that's right. No, he was only 3 out of 8 from the floor, so hirap na hirap shot to get his points on the board.
Good tap, deflection by Rios. 7 on the shot clock. Oftana dancing with the defense. Calvin, half spin, step through. A bag of tricks pulled out by Oftana, but yung Pito is on the rebound play. Hodge ang matatawagan.
His first foul, 5 on the Bolts.
Penalty situation now for Meralco on the next.
Oh, check
on
that.
The next foul.
It was on the shot. I thought it was on the rebound play, but it was on the shot that Oftana was fouled. So he's taking 2 free throws. Ang tinatanong ni Coach Luigi, bakit nag-free throw si Oftana?
Kasi wala pa sa penalty. They are just now on the penalty.
Because I believe it was BGRD na nasa pagitan ni Hodge at ni Oftana. I think that's what Meralco is pointing out.
Well, I think it's also a situation where he released the ball and a foul was committed elsewhere at the same time. So yung parang situation if you take a shot and then somebody else gets fouled at the same time, they give you a bonus. So I guess that's the ruling that the referees made because wala naman dun si yung nag-foul, wala naman dun si Cliff Hodge in that situation. But anyway, the call will stay. And more points here for TNT because they're now up by 15 points.
The biggest lead they've had in this game. Rios, aatake labas kay Cancino. 4 ang hahanapin. CJ misses. And that is still the department where they haven't been able to get much. They're 1 of 10.
And if you notice, yung TNT defense prevented Meralco from slashing and getting close to the basket. Kaya napilitan na lang ang Meralco to pass the ball out to Cancino, who had to take a shot with a shot clock going down from 4-point distance. Not the high percentage shot that you would want in that situations because naghahabol ka. You're down 15. Of course, if you're down 15, you want to go for a home run, but it's too early to go for the home run.
Meralco's never been reliant on the outside shot, not the 3-pointer, not the 4-pointer. Pero ang laki nang nawawala if you're not hitting your shots from there. Foul called on Cancino. That's going to mean free throws for TNT.
That's right, they're in the penalty.
Foul number 71, CJ Cancino, penalty. That was the 3rd foul on CJ Cancino.
Pangatlo na yan against CJ.
2 shots for
Oftana. What a luxury, as we were saying in the first half for Coach Shot Reyes. Nang Batak, hindi pa nakaka-score dito. Kenny Williams, hindi pa nga nakaka-score dito.
Itong
Pogoy is out of the game. Galinato hindi pa nga nakakalaro. Now Kelly Williams, by the way, is now on the floor. Chris Newsom not able to play.
Well, the initial report we got, diba, kung kakayanin, susubukan, but it looks like, you know, it might not be that kind of a situation for Nuno, and we hope for a speedy recovery. Alam nating, you know, fans deserve a semifinal series, hopefully, where everyone's healthy, everyone's playing. Pero syempre, hindi maiiwasan sa basketball. Tapigan ng bola taken by TNT. Oftana. Halalon back inside. BGR. Napayungan na agaw ng Meralco. Maliksi. Alain will go all the way.
Using the left hand, Maliksi. First time on the floor for Meralco. Coach Luigi looking for some shock troopers to give them instant offense. Kasi nag-ispata ng kanilang offense, And just to give the defense and TNT a different look, a different guy to defend.
Kobuntin will fire away. And a push.
Yeah. And that push, meaning free throws for TNT. Nasa penalty na sila. CJ Cancino with a foul.
Couple of fouls. Called on Cancino.
At apat na yan.
2 shots
for Cancino. Kelly Williams, di pa nakaka-score dito.
Williams in game 2. That was where he did a lot of damage. Dahil apat na tres yung napasok niya in the second quarter. Scoring all 12 of his points in that period.
In this conference before the semifinals, Kelly Williams shooting 73.3% from the line. So not bad.
Nagbintis nga na yung unang free throw ni Kelly.
And for Kelly Williams, you remember, of course, he's a one-time MVP back in 2008. He was a first overall pick in 2006, the league's oldest player, 43 years old.
20 years after he made that debut in the PBA. Instant impact agad yun pagpasok niya. Named Rookie of the Year, and now he's still doing his thing. He's still making his impact with his team.
He's hitting threes. He's playing tough defense. Ito yung depensa niya against Maliksi. Naku, hirap na hirap sa Maliksi. Tuloy, nag-turnover. And you gotta credit Kelly Williams for playing defense that time on Maliksi, forcing that bad pass.
Halalon. They want it with Oftana dahil may mismatch. Si Aram nakabantay sa kanya. Williams for 3. Kelly knocks it down.
And we were just talking about this guy, the machine gun, and a three-point shot connected here by Kelly Williams. And this game,
19-point lead.
And then it's being broken open here by TNT. And Aram, wow, getting a start in this game and drilling it from outside.
Ito yung mga moments in the game that Meralco really needs their leader in Newsom. Alam natin, bumaboses pa rin yan si Nuno in the sidelines. But this is when you need your captain on the court. But they will have to find a way to fight through. Dahil mahaba pa yung oras din.
And they can come back. They certainly can. But they need to be able to step it up here. They're down 17. Nasa kanila yung possession. Totose. There's two big men now on the floor for Coach Luigi and Coach Nenad. Almasan at saka si Toto Jose kasi Brandon Bates already with 4 personal fouls.
Almasan stripped away by Halalon. Yan yung dahilan kung bakit ginagamit ni Coach Shot si Gio.
A moment of hesitation on the part of Almasan.
And yan naman yung dahilan kung ba't ginagamit niya si Kelly. Another 3 for Williams.
Kanina Williams hit it from the right side. This time he hit it from the left side. This guy can hit it from anywhere on the floor. And you gotta close out hard on Kelly Williams if he's poised to take the three-point shot.
Karma atake. Sent it out to Jose, pero kapos yung tira.
Ball screen action, Anjo Karam with a pass. And here's Kelly Williams once more.
That would have brought the house down para sa TNT. Still, it's a 20-point lead. After those back-to-back threes by Williams, Aram will attack, will score again. 6 points for Anjo.
And Anjo Karam, this is only his second game in the semifinals. And all told,
Aram started this game.
And this is only his 6th appearance in this entire conference.
And a smack across the face for Toto Jose. He gets called for a foul.
They're going to review whether that smack on the face was an attempt at the ball, an accidental smack on the face. Was it malicious intent? Was it a violent kind of foul? Ito makita natin. That hand was clearly away from the ball. Ang layo ng kamay from the ball. Oh, that might be a favorite.
Well, it looks like our referees are ready to make their decision. Antayin natin yung announcement ng ating venue announcer.
Flagrant foul, penalty 1 on Raymar Jose.
That's it, penalty 1. We did say
Raymar Jose has to sit on the bench for 3 minutes.
Flagrant, penalty 1 ang tawag. He smacked Jordan Heading on the face. Ang layo ng kamay niya from the ball. And that's why that was a flagrant penalty 1.
TNT has blown this game open. They're up by 18 in free throws from Jordan Heading when we return. Take a look at the free throws in this series and how it has dictated the winners and just the way the games have been played in.
Especially in game number 1. Can you believe TNT before the semifinals averaging 18.8 free throw attempts a game. Biglang lumobot to 47 free throw attempts in game number 1 because of the tweak in the offensive adjustment. The coach Shot Reyes going outside to inside, and yeah, the free throws, they've been a factor in every game in this series so far.
Yung game 2 lang yung medyo kakaiba rin because karamihan ng free throws were taken by Meralco. Pero dahil dun sa grabing 3-point shooting ng TNT in that game, sila pa rin ang nanalo. Here tonight, halos pantay yung attempts. Pati yung make, medyo pantay rin lang naman.
Game number 3, both these teams, we saw that on your screens, actually had more than 30 free throw attempts each. And nasabi nga natin, no, that was because the game was very physical and the referees were calling it tight. The physicality, they're trying to tone it down by calling the free throws. 34 free throw attempts for TNT in game number 3. 38 naman for Meralco.
Would you say, Dean, na ang nagiging problema ng Meralco in this game and in games 1 and 2, which they lost, was their offense?
Well, you know, they rely on their defense. And their offense is just going to roll if they're able to hold their opponents down to 90 or less. Yan ang barometer ng Meralco. But in this situation, wala ang kanilang leader, si Chris Newsom. They need a coach on the floor. And they're badly missing his services. And plus, with the explosion dito ni Poy Aram, they have not been able to find a solution to stop Aram.
And you know, just understanding kung anong klaseng competitor si Chris Newsom, you know it's killing him to be on the sidelines in his uniform but unable to join his team in war.
Anjo Karam doing his darnest best to try to put some fire here. And he scores again. That's 8 points now for Karam. What a showing here for this little big man.
Always a fighter Mula pa nung mga panahon niya with the San Beda Red Lions.
2 minutes.
Pero malaki-laki hinahabol nila dito. Meralco has only scored 14 points in this quarter. Aram barrels in, misses, overcooks that shot. Hodge with the board, tumatakbo ang mga nakaputi. It's Karam, stop and pop. Anjo will not hit that time. Look at Gio Halalon collect another board.
He's a tough rebounding guard. He knows how to position himself. Ito si Aram. There's a double team. Looking to pass off. Ito si Ferrer from the outside. And chalk up another assist for Poy Aram.
Kevin Ferrer has 7 points. And he has given Coach Chot and TNT quality minutes off the bench.
And Poy Aram is just doing everything. Recognizing the double team, kicking out, looking for the open shooter. Another defensive gem from TNT. Nawala kay Gio Halalon. Here comes Maliksi. There's an outside shot. Wala.
They've been looking for it, Dean.
Yeah.
Alam nilang at some point kakailanganin na nila eh. But it hasn't been falling. Look at this though. Would you believe that Kevin Ferrer, on top of his 7 points, made 2 steals and 2 blocks already?
Quality minutes coming from Ferrer.
Here he is again, open, lines one up. Misses this one.
Meralco still trying to put some pace. Nice
Aram.
pass.
Iwan kay Hodge.
And he will score. Cliff Hodge, a very quiet night para sa kanya. He has 8 points. Did not score in the second quarter.
And TNT will try to use up as much of this clock as they can. Pero nabitawan ni Aram yung bola. 3-on-1 break, Hodge. It's with Karam, back to a lane, corner 3. Still nothing for Meralco. Hodge puts it up right in the nick of time. So a mini run for Meralco, Dean, to end the third quarter. They get to within 16. We got 12 minutes of basketball ahead of us. And Meralco is hoping to pull a miracle. Right now, it's TNT ahead, 72-56.
We can't show me a 2, okay? 2. You call appeal. Call appeal on them, okay? You don't. You 2. You straight 2. Right? You 2 with Ferrer. You 7, okay? Ferrer 7. All right? Big 2. Always 2. Huh?
We're about to enter the fourth quarter dito sa Game 4 ng semis, Meralco versus TNT. In the first 3 quarters, yung assists, it has belonged to TNT. They've been moving that ball around. Tsaka hindi lang isang tao yung nagdodomina ng mga assists. It's everyone touching that basketball. Meralco mababa yung count because Newsom, their leading assists guy, is not available for this game. Chris Banquero has tried to lead them. And he has done so with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Kaya lang, it hasn't been enough. Lalong-lalo na dahil ang init ni Poy Aram in this game. He opened it up with 12 points in the first quarter, and he has flowed, has carried that strong start to the rest of this game, Dean.
Poy Aram has been able to score in every quarter so far. At si Banquero na napag-usapan natin did not score in the third quarter. It's been a tough night here for Meralco offensively, but I think you gotta give credit to Coach Chot Reyes' defense. And ito pinag-uusapan natin about the defense and offense. For TNT, in their 11 wins, they've been able to average over 108 points a game, but in their 4 losses, they've been held down to less than 90 points. So for Meralco, they need to hold TNT down to less than 90 points to win, and right now they already have 72.
Cancino gets the steal and finishes in transition. And this is another break. Another stop taken by Meralco.
The lead is down to 14.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Now we also noticed that towards the end of the third quarter, napagod na si Poy Aram. He's sitting on the bench. An opportunity here for Meralco.
Cancino nawala rin sa kanya yung bola.
Straight into the hands of Tana.
And the TNT defense, binibigyan talaga ng problema si CJ. Heading from the corner. That rolls in. A 3 for heading.
And he's now in double figures. Can you imagine? Tana at saka si Heading combining for only 6 points in game number 3. Eto si Anjo. Not getting the ball to fall.
How differently this game would have been, Dean, kung pumasok lang yung mga tres nito Meralco. They're 1 of 12 right now. Heading. Elbow J. Wala. And BGR taps that all the way back. But no whistle of a backcourt violation. Robuntin, atake, the spin. The foul on Maliksi. It's going to be free throws.
Banquero ready to check back in. He's the guy who's the main defender of Jordan Heading. We saw that in game number 3. They'll need his defense on Heading, who's looking to wax hot here in the fourth quarter. Too many free throws being given up here by Meralco. More free throws coming up for TNT.
Alam mo, you'll have to appreciate though on the Meralco side, it's been different guys who's trying to bring everyone together in. Yung mga players huddle din, usually kasi si Chris Newsom yan eh, but we've seen guys like Anjo Karam call everyone together. Ngayon si Brandon Bates yung nag-lead nung players huddle. And really, someone has to step up for them and fill that void left by New.
Well, they all have to play collectively defense. And that's the only way that they can turn this game around. If they can play tough defense, make some stops, they'll be able to get some opportunities to score on the other end. Banquero did not score in the third quarter. Let's see what he can do. He's hounded by Kelly Williams.
Flips it up.
He scores. Kanina, early in this quarter, that lead was down to 14. And then Jordan Heading hit that big 3.
Bumalik ulit sa 19. It's down to 17 now.
And Brandon Bates with 4 personal fouls.
Kelly swings it, Heading.
That's a 4.
Wanted to go for a home run shot.
And they got it back. Ito na.
Tana could not hit.
Oh, look at BGR getting the offensive rebound. But losing possession. Still a 17-point lead. It's like a mountain to climb here para sa Meralco. And John, I want to take this opportunity to greet my grandson, Jose, who turns 9 today. So happy birthday to my grandson.
Happy birthday, Jose.
Martin Jose Nangkayon is my grandson. One of 2. The other guy is Luis, who's 6 years old.
Hodge, bigay kay Bates. Quinto gagamit ng screen ni Bates. And Bonquito just unable to hit that shot.
Every shot is being contested by TNT. Palagay ko yun ang instructions ni Coach Shot. No easy baskets, whether close range or long range. Grabe itong depensa ng TNT.
Bonquito is 1 for 11 from the field.
And he had 13 points last time out. Here's Kelly Williams with a 3.
So, a stop by Meralco, pero kailangan ma-convert nila on the other side.
Meralco scored only 60 points so far, and they're missing those shots.
There's been a lid on that Meralco rim. And Orin will get away, enjoying a pristine path to the hoop.
And those are the breaks of the game. And TNT capitalizing. They now have a 19-point lead.
Hodge. Ang aararo sana sa ilalim, pero kita mo yung dalawang sumalubong naman sa kanya. Kelly Williams, Brandon Ganuelas Rosser. Biglang walang makita si Cliff pagdating sa ilalim.
I think the big adjustment here of Coach Chot Reyes is at nakita niya how Meralco played defense against Oftana and Heading in game number 3. So he told his boys, guys, you can't rely on just those two guys. Others have to step up. And the guy who answered the call was Boy Aram.
Din yung 3 shots ng Meralco in that possession, lahat yon are money makers for all of those players. Yung follow-away ni Alain, short shot ni Quinto, and the reverse layup by Hodge, walang pumapasok ngayon para sa Meralco.
And the shots are being challenged. At eto no, si Kim Aurin with a 3-point shot. And si Simon Enciso's piling up a lot of assists. Yung unselfishness ng TNT, very evident sa laro. Kanina nabanggit natin, with Poy Aram's excellent game, hindi na natin nakikita si Galinato play. He's ready to check back in. Poy Aram, sitting coolly on the bench, doesn't need to play any longer here.
And Banquero will try for 4. And Cease's pass, bothered by Banquero. Hihingi ng timeout si Coach Shot Reyes. They're up by 22 and are looking to gain control in the series. They're trying to go for a 3-1 lead.
This is Game 4 of the semifinals at nangunguna pa rin ang TNT 82-60. Now, TNT continuously pushing their lead. Ang sigaw ni Coach Nenad Vucinic in the latest huddle is, I need poise and energy. Ika nga niya, we have to look forward but at the same time try to win this in the process. Which is why offensively, the ask is to look for quick transitions and for Meralco to set high ball screens. Ang parting words ni Coach Nenad, let's look for our shots and look to score. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Eileen. Well, Meralco is currently in a deep hole.
Down by 22 with 7:34 remaining. Sabi mo nga din, kanina nababa nila to 14 but there was that counter-attack mula sa tropa.
Well, Meralco's in the bind. They're shooting only 33% from the floor because of the tough defense on TNT. Not only that, because of TNT's defense, their execution has been very faulty on the offensive end. They only have 8 assists. Double that ang assists ng TNT. 16 assists for TNT and only 8 for Meralco. You saw Chris Husum not able to play in this contest. He had an MCL sprain in game number 3, not able to play here. Aaron Black is back in the game. Galinato, nabanggit natin, is also back in the game. And he gets the pass and he scores! Kaagad yun! Kapapasok lang ni Galinato.
Yung matinding tanong din dito is, will Chris Newsom be available for the coming games? Lalong-lalo na, of course, the next game, whether they win or they lose this one, it's gonna be very important, Game 5. And also, that same question is posted on the side of TNT with regards to RR Pugoy. If you guys missed it, kanina po nasaktan din si Pugoy. But let's take a look at this first, Dean.
Ito yung no-look pass galing kay Kelly Williams. Kasasabi lang natin how many assists TNT has racked up. 17 assists now in this game against only 8 for Meralco. That's been a big story of this game. Yung execution ng offense and of course yung depensa ng TNT has been tremendous. Oh, there's a shot coming from Cliff Hodge. He'll go for a 3-point play.
You know that yung energy, yung motor ni Hodge, it doesn't change. Whether they're up 20 or down by 20, whether it's the first minute or the last minute of the game.
That pass coming from Quinto. But Cliff Hodge looking to complete the three-point play with his very unusual free throw style. Ito. Okay, pumasok naman. Three-point play.
Yung
30 points.
ironic din dun din is yung unorthodox style ni Cliff Hodge. Mas mataas pa nga yung percentage niya than some of the mas found, scientifically found shots di ba?
Brandon Bates.
It just goes to show you yung free throw, yung shots. Whatever works for you.
Tama. I mentioned Brandon Bates because he had a hard show kanina. Didn't get the pass. Went on a roll. Here we go with Aram Black not hitting the shot on the layup. At tumatakbo na naman ang TNT for these guys are relentless. And there's a block by Cliff Hodge.
You know what?
On that attempted reverse.
Black and Bates talking right now. Kasi kanina din, nag-iba yung tira ni Black. Not because there was a defender, because Brandon Bates was in his path. And that's why they had to talk things out.
Things not looking too good here for Meralco. Nakaka-84 points na ang TNT. And there's more. There's more from Kim Aram, who now has a total of 8 points in this game. Yun ang mga bunot ni Coach Chot Reyes dito.
Look at Hodge. Talagang he's just trying to put Meralco on his back right now. Kasi halos walang gawing mali ang TNT dito sa fourth quarter.
Look at this pass off the inbound. And Kim Aram hitting the three. He earlier had a corner three-point connection. No pagoy, no problem for TNT because they're getting a lot of quality minutes from different players. Nambatak has not scored in this game. Okay lang. Nandiyan naman si Aurin.
And Ferrer din.
Also. Yeah, si Ferrer. And Oftana and Jordan heading back to work, both in double figures. Of course, the big story has been Poy Aram. He hasn't played here in the fourth quarter. Hindi na siguro kailangan, ano?
You know, ibang klase rin talaga si Coach Chot Reyes in finding these guys na mahuhugot niya off the bench and they will contribute. I mean, you go back to the bubble championship they had and he called a group of guys his Kurimahus, di ba? Sina Dave Marcelo pa nun. Glenn Cobuntin was part of that. And they just, Bing Eximignano yung mga yun. And they proved to be key contributors in that championship run of the Tropa.
Well, we never questioned the coaching genius of Coach Chot Reyes. He's proved himself time and again on different levels of competition. And yung mga adjustments niya dito sa game number 4, very, very critical and very telling. Yung adjustment siya sa offensive sa starting lineup and Aram Black. What a shot.
Initya na lang pumasok pa. He had his back to the basket. Galinato bigay kay Oftana.
Remember in this game, Aram making his first start in this gun. Oh, what a nice pass coming from Enciso. Sandali, assist pa yun or air ball?
Eh kung tatanungin mo si Simon, alam ko isasagot niya.
Galinato, 40 minutes. He just checked in here in the fourth quarter. Nakaka 4 points na.
It's Aurin who collect that board.
5 minutes.
So 5 minutes left in this game. Pero if Meralco cannot pull off one big miraculous run, TNT will be heading towards a 3-1 lead.
Well, we did say that among the defensive goals of Meralco is to hold TNT to less than 90 and less than 40% shooting. Right now, TNT nakaka-89 points na, and they're shooting 42.6% from the field. So on those both counts, mahihirapan na dito ang Meralco. Galinato against Cliff Hodge. It's a bruising affair. Both players are very physical.
And the players of Meralco are very tired. Natawa na rin lang si Cliff Hodge. He knew he was in a difficult position there.
Eh kasi, gamit na siya. Eh si Galinato's fresh off the bench. Galinato playing with a lot of energy. We've got this timeout.
game 1, John's medyo gigil kami, right? So I think we got the lead, but you have to credit the resiliency of Talk and Text, right? They upped us in that third quarter of that first game. They scored 38 points. And then ito naman the game 2, I haven't been coaching for two years. It's on me. The guys were not in sync. And it's good that we bounce back now, right? But to fight Talk and Text, we can't, there's just too many good players there, and we've got to make it physical as well.
Without a doubt, there is mutual respect between Coach Chotres and Coach Luigi Trillo. And it has been a chess match between these two. It has been a physical affair on the court between Meralco and TNT. You think about what Meralco is fighting for 2 seasons ago. Naramdaman nila what it feels like to be called champions in the PBA, in the Philippine Cup, the most prestigious conference. Ang TNT naman, naka-3 finals appearance last season din. 2 na ipanalo nila, yung nakatakas lang sa kanila is the Philippine Cup. Both teams have their reasons why they're giving it everything they've got to advance to the finals.
Well, for TNT, it was very, very painful to lose the Philippine Cup last season because if they had won that, di nakakuha na naman ng Grand Slam, another PBA franchise, but they lost their bid for a Grand Slam. But, we're talking about TNT's offense, but their defense has been spectacular in this game. Oh, nakakuha ng steal dito ang Meralco and Chris Banquero off the steal by Jansen Rios.
You have to love na itong Meralco, hindi pa rin sumusuko. They're putting some pressure on defense still.
Well, I'm sure they're not even looking at this game alone. They're looking beyond. They want to put up a big fight here down the stretch to be able to gain some momentum because, it'll be do or die for them in game number 5.
Oh, that's back-to-back hits para sa Bolts.
Lead is down to 16. Meralco making a run. There is a attempted trap and a foul in the backcourt. Bagsak doon si Jordan Herring.
At rinig na rinig natin din yung tunog ng pagbagsak.
That's his 5th foul, 3.
And Coach Chotres transforming his offensive machine into a defensive stranglehold. Ito, bagsak si Jordan Herring. Remember, in game number 1, Meralco was held to 95 points. Game number 2, Meralco was held to 92 points. Both times, Meralco did not score over 100.
Almost another turnover para sa TNT. But Henning saves the day with a massive 3.
This guy did not even score in game number 3. And now with 15 points.
Just when Meralco thought that there was a slim opening of the door, biglang eto si Jordan Henning.
And again, another assist from TNT. And you have to credit the Tropang 5G for keeping that ball moving, looking to find the best possible opportunity to score.
Foul number 32, Henry Galinato Jr.
If you're Meralco, it's commendable, of course, to keep fighting, but it is a series, and to some extent, you also want to make sure that your players will be ready for the quick turnaround. Game 5 is on Wednesday.
Well, I don't know what the morale of Meralco will be, especially with Chris Newsom not able to play in this game and questionable for the next game. And that's an air ball coming from 4, galing kay Chris Banquero. And no reaction there from Coach Luigi Trillo. And it looks like a 1 game here for TNT with 2:49 to go. Their lead is up to 19.
The biggest disparity, pag titingnan natin yung mga numero, 12 made 3-pointers for TNT. Isa lang ang pumasok para sa Meralco. Kabuntin will miss that.
And look at how TNT has closed the door on the 3-point shooters of Meralco. And there's a foul, however.
So Rios will try for 3 free throws.
Foul on number 15, Jordan Henning. His 3rd foul.
Si Rios Hindi pa nga nakaka-score sa laro. Rios will be at the line for free throws.
TNT was able to go back to their strength here, Dean. Yung perimeter points, they've doubled the output of Meralco. 17 perimeter points para sa Bolts, 38 para sa TNT.
And points in the paint, actually, in the first half. Ang laki na lamang ng TNT. But yeah, they've just shown a lot of different facets of their offense. Sa first half, dahil nilang puntos sa loob. Tapos dito sa second half, ang dami nilang puntos sa labas. And it's what makes TNT a very dangerous team, a very deep team, because they've been able to ride out the absence of Aram after playing only 1 minute in this contest.
And you would think, no, baka yung nag-step up para kay Pugoy, the likes of Oftana, ng Bata. But no, it was a certain boy, Aram, who has 27 points in this game. And Galinato finishing through the foul, getting his 6th point.
And Galinato, all of his points coming here in the fourth quarter. Hindi nga siya naglaro in the first 3 quarters. What a performance coming from the bench ni Coach Chot Reyes. Kay Maurin providing points. Ito si Galinato ngayon. Kelly Williams off the bench, scoring 2 3-point shots. What solid contributions from the shock troopers ng TNT.
Ito nga yung kwento ng ating perimeter points. And you know what? Not even the inside incursions ng Meralco, hindi rin pumapasok eh.
And, Mike Nieto checking in for TNT as Coach Otre is going deep into his bench.
We talked about yung guys stepping out for RR Pugoy din. Meralco started this game na walang Chris Newsome, but yung mga scorers who could have picked up the slack, they also struggled. We talk about Bong Quinto, only 3 points, 1 of 12 from the field. CJ Cancino, yes, he was able to put up 13, pero 4 of 13 from the field. It was Chris Banquero who picked up the scoring slack for them, 19 para kay CB.
And the big guys of Meralco just not able to make an effective impact on the offensive end because their hands were tied playing defense on Aram. Bates, no score here, and Almazan held down to 7 points after averaging in double figures in the first 3 games of this series.
Under 2 minutes to go.
You know, we heard from Eileen that Reynam Batak not 100% in this game. So I think Coach Chot Reyes played him only sparse minutes, did not score here. Galinato still keeping that ball alive for another possession para sa TNT.
Yung lalim ng TNT kakaiba rin eh, because they may not have 8 big names on their roster, but they have the complementary guys, the perfect guys who embrace their role at alam ko ano yung kailangan nilang gawin para tumulong sa team.
Coach Reyes is the guy who has masterminded this excellent teamwork being shown here by TNT. There is a foul that gives an opportunity for Tyrus Hill to play in this game as he checks in for Galinato. Bong Quinto is out of the game. 6 personal fouls. Aurin with 10 points.
So ito na, nagamit na ni Coach Shot all 15 of his players.
And Tyrus Hill saying, sandali, he's checking in for Galinato. Will they allow it?
They allow it eventually. Si Henry kasi pumunta na agad sa bench. So nung hinahanap ni Tyro, sino yung papalitan ko? Ba't wala siya doon sa court? But yes, TNT will go up 3-1. And they will be 1 win away from a 4th consecutive finals appearance in the PBA.
And Tyrus Hill will get his chance to put some points across his name. A foul, penalty situation. Yun na si Tyrus Hill. An acquisition in the offseason from Blackwater. He misses his first free throw. There's Chris Banquero on your screens. You saw in the background there is Coach Norman Black. He had a seat on the bench in the 2 games that Coach Nenad was absent. And there is 1 point for Tyrus Hill.
I think parang lumiit na ulit yung role ni Coach Norman as coach, active consultant, pero medyo lumalaki ulit as a father to, of course, a player who's seeing action in the semis whenever he's not seated on the bench of Meralco.
And Coach Norman's son, Aram, at the line.
Do you see, I know they play different positions, but may similarities ba din na nakikita ka in their games maybe? Or physical build?
Well, Coach Norman is much taller than Aram, but you know, I think if there's any similarity, it's their passion and their heart. And here we go with another 2 points coming from Mike Nieto, still off the bench.
Well, Nieto contributes to. At yung assistant galing kay Tyrus Hill, the last 2 guys off the bench of TNT as Meralco continues to pile up problems late in this game. 2 tenacious players in Hodge and Halalon.
And Hodge finally giving up the foul. Getting the call from the referee. Yan ang mindset na hinahanap ng any coach. You play hard down to the last second of the game. Cliff Hodge. Well, this guy is a gamer. Gio Halalon. Hindi pa nakaka-score dito, si Halalon.
That changed now. With Halalon scoring. Pero yung role niya kasi, yan, another guy that we talk about, yung alam niya lang kung ano yung role niya. Remember in games 1 and 2, Halalon started for Coach Chot and played what? The first 5 minutes, tapos halos hindi na ulit nakapasok. Panggulat lang. Bringing that energy on the defensive end.
Also realizing that malalaki yung mga gwardiya ng Meralco, and they look to post up Halalon at every opportunity. Here is an outside shot na hindi pumasok ngayon kay Cancino. He'll try again.
Well, the only 3-pointer from Meralco in this game, yung buzzer beater ni CJ in the first quarter. As ngayon, may 4 siya. But that will do little to the outcome and the final result of this game.
And they're not going to score any longer. Hindi kailangan ng quotient dito.
TNT now takes a 3-1 series lead and are 1 win away from making a 4th straight finals appearance. Final score for Game 4 is 102-83.
And for Poy Aram, who didn't play in the 4th quarter, he will get Best Player of the Game honors. And he richly deserved that. For a guy who's averaging, what, 2 points in this conference? Exploding here with 27 points, just 4 short of duplicating his career high.
Kahit di na naglaro ng 14, natin makakalimutan yung ginawa niya from the 1st to the 3rd. Siya ang ating Babat Player of the Game, brought to you by Devant. Enjoy unforgettable TV Babat moments with your family, only with Devant.
Well, for Aram, hindi lang yung scoring niya, yung rebounding, meron pang assist. And he set the tone early for Coach Chot Reyes. Scoring there on the break. Poy Aram, our undisputed choice for Best Player of the Game.
And the final score for Game 4, 102-83. Aangat na ang TNT Tropang 5G to a 3-1 series lead. Pero ang Meralco, syempre, hindi pa yan susuko. Susubukang makabawi sa Game 5, and that's gonna happen very, very soon. There are gonna be a lot of adjustments. Nung nanalo ang Meralco in Game 14, they nabuhayan ulit ng loob and that needs to happen on Wednesday as they will play in the first game. TNT will, of course, try to close that series out.
It's going to be a tough climb here for Meralco, but I think the other series, boy, it's tied. Ginebra at saka San Miguel, they're now tied at 2 wins apiece. And that 5th game is going to be very, very crucial.
Absolutely. Well, that does it for us from the Mall of Asia Arena. For my partners, the Dean Kinito Henson and Eileen Chi, and for our hardworking production technical teams, my name is John Sulit. thanking you for watching the PBA Philippine Cup Semifinals dito lang po sa RPTV.
Final score of 102-83, the TNT Tropang 5G lead in this series 4-1, and I am joined by the best player of the game, JB Aram. JB, congratulations. You know, boy, tonight you were TNT's revelation. Your impact was huge. You were scoring nearly triple your scoring output of this conference. What clicked for you personally to set the tone very early as the first quarter for TNT?
Siyempre, unang-una, gusto ko pasalamat sa Panginoon. Siyempre, siya yung dahilan ba't ako naglalaro. Yun nga, sa tanong mo, I'm just thinking lang na just help the team any way possible. And then, siyempre, I'm blessed din sa mga teammates ko. Talagang, nag-adjust kami, nakikita nila ako. And then, me, having the ball, just being aggressive and thinking lang na talagang makatulong lang talaga sa team kasi, yun nga, alam din naman, di ako masyadong naglalaro, di ba? Pero ako, nasa isip ko lang, kahit nasa bench ako, naglalaro ako, ang thinking ko is makatulong sa teammates, kung ano man yung play ng kalaban, or sa loob, dumipensa, ganyan. Yun lang talaga. And I'm blessed enough na binigyan ako ng chance na makapaglaro ulit na mahaba. And thank you sa mga coaches, and Coach Shot na bigyan ako ng chance na makapaglaro ulit ng mahaba.
Boy, with TNT now just one win away from booking a ticket to the finals once again, how do you keep this momentum going?
Just staying aggressive lang. Siyempre, Meralco still Meralco. Alam namin mag-a-adjust sila. They have a good coach, good players. So kami, yes, panalo kami, pero meron pa kami maraming kailangang i-adjust pa sa defense, sa offense namin. Yun lang, sobrang blessed na kami na talagang today, we won the first 3 steps. Yun ang pinaka-importante, yun ang nakasulat sa board. So, yun.
Alright, Poy, may gusto ka bang batiin or pasalamatan?
Siyempre, unang-una, binabati ko yung pamilya ko sa bahay. My wife, nanonood sila, and yung mga anak ko, Aliyah, Luca, and Clay, mga kasambahay namin, Ate Tesha, Robert, Maki. Manager ko, Boss Danny, Boss Marvin. And then, siyempre, mga coaching staff and family ko na nandito nanonood. And sa lahat ng TNT fans, maraming salamat sa supportan niyo.
Once again, our best player of the game, Poy Aram. Now let's turn it over to the post-game press conference with our winning coach.
Good evening and welcome to the post-game press conference. I'm joined by our winning coach, Coach Chot Reyes. Congratulations, Coach. You were able to bounce back from last game's loss in a dominating fashion. What were some improvements that you saw today that would be a big factor in being able to close out this series?
Well, I think there's no secret that we got a break because Chris Newsom didn't play. But the same thing happened to us. We also lost Roger in the first quarter. So that kind of evened it out, and that became our focus. Roger scored, 30 points the last game? And so I said, without a Roger, the only way we're going to win this game is with our defense. And I think that's what we did. We prevented Meralco from scoring, getting to their offensive rhythm, number 1. And number 2, we controlled the boards. I think we did a great job getting the rebounds. And those were the 2 main factors that I thought were contributory to the victory tonight.
Balikan natin itong Game 4 of the semifinal series. Meralco versus TNT. Gustong umangat ng tropa. 3-1. Gustong makatabla ng Meralco. At si Poy Aram yung nagsimula na mainit dito sa larong to.
At kaagad, establishing his presence sa loob, si Poy Aram. Tapos si Almasa naman, nakabawi for Meralco. And 2 big guys exchanging baskets. Glenn Kubuntin.
Mapapansin nyo, puro sa loob yung mga tira nitong dalawang teams because there was only 1 3-pointer made in the first quarter, and it was this, a buzzer beater mula kay CJ Cancino.
Ito ang ginawa ni Cancino. Pinato na lang yung bola, pumasok pa. And it was a very close first quarter, just 1 point separating both these teams. But yung depensa ng TNT holding Meralco to less than 20 points in that first quarter.
It was the Tropa who went up after 20-19. But things would change. Nabanggit namin kanina, isa lang yung tres. And courtesy of Cancino, walang napasok yung TNT. But things would change in the second. Poy Aram sa loob pa rin na mayagpag.
Another basket by Poy Aram inside the painted area. Single coverage ang ginawa sa kanya ng Meralco, and he took advantage. Ito naman si Calvin Oftana, pasok! And Oftana, only 6 points in game number 3. He finished with 7 at the end of the first half. And with 14.
Ito naman si Eding din. Ito yung kwento naman ni Eding galing sa scoreless in game 3. He was also able to get going in this game. TNT umangat na to 7 yung lead at the half. And they would build on that in the third.
Well, si Kelly Williams, ito yung kanyang second three-pointer of the game. He did not start in this contest. Came off the bench, but contributed big time for TNT.
Dito talaga lumaki lamang ng Tropa. I mean, look at that score. It reached a high of 20. Ang Meralco, they tried to fight back. Anjo Aram tried to be the leader dahil nga walang Chris Newsom in this game.
A veteran si Anjo Aram did not start previously but got a start here. Pero ito na naman si Kevin Ferrer, and the TNT waxing hot from all angles in this contest.
It was a 16-point lead para sa TNT entering the fourth. And this is where the rest of the team followed suit. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang arangkada nitong TNT Tropang 5G.
Ito yung steal, Banquero on the attack, and he will score on the break off that steal. Pero si Jordan Heading, hindi pa tapos ang kanyang scoring exploits here in the fourth period. Makita natin kung ano nangyari. There is the pass by Galinato. Ito naman yung tira ni Jordan Heading.
And that came at a time na medyo nabubuhayan yung Meralco. Heading, erasing every bit of that Meralco comeback. And some of the final touches in this game, Henry Galinato.
Pati si Galinato contributing big time. Only played in the fourth period. 19 assists in total for TNT in the game, as against 12 for Meralco. And that ball distribution was very key in this victory for TNT.
And it was Poy Aram na nag-best player of the game with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks. TNT win Game 4, 102-83, and they now lead the series 3-1. And dyan na po magtatapos ang aming offering on your Super Bowl Sunday mula sa Mall of Asia Arena. For my partners, the Dean Ginito Henson, and for Eileen Chi, para rin po sa aming talented and hardworking production and technical teams. Ako po si Jot Sulit, nagpapasalamat, nagpapaalam. At sana po ay patuloy nyo pa rin suportahan at panoorin ang PBA 50th Season Philippine Cup Semifinals right here on RPTV. Game 5 will be on Wednesday.